Chapter 2942. Lin Xian shook his head. Such threats are useless against me. Since you dare to kill me, you should be prepared to be killed. Since you have no last words, I'll send you on your way. Lin Fan slowly raised his palm. Wisps of 9 suns divine fire turned into terrifying sword chi and swept across the sky. Oh! Lord Redwing roared crazily. But this time, his body was crushed by the golden foot and blood gushed out. He could not resist at all. Those Redwing tribe members were also sent flying by Lin Xian's sword and landed heavily on the ground. They could only watch helplessly. "Ah, damn brat! Let our king go. If you dare to kill him, our Redwing tribe will hunt you down, no matter where you run to," they roared crazily. However, Lin Xian's palm was still descending slowly and did not stop. "Not good, attack. Stop that brat. Don't let him kill Lord Redwing." In the distance, the top sky prides of the Scorpio tribe and the Sure tribe looked at each other and quickly attacked. Buzz. The lady from the Scorpio tribe swung her tail and drew a silver ribbon. It pierced through the void and brought with it runes that filled the sky. On the other side, the void trembled. Terrifying yellow runes flashed and a huge stone hand fell from the sky, enveloping Lin Xian. In an instant, the 2 top sky prides attacked mercilessly. Not good. Seeing this, the martial artist's eyelids twitched. Lin Xian's pupils shrank. His body swayed and disappeared from the spot. With a loud boom, the void exploded. Scarlet Feather King roared and escaped. "Thank you for your help. I'm very grateful. If you need anything in the future, feel free to tell me." Lord Redwing looked at the top sky prides of the Scorpio tribe and the Sure tribe with gratitude. If it weren't for the 2 of them, he probably would have been killed by that attack just now. On the other side, Lin Xian dodged the attacks of the 2 sky prides and appeared in the void. His face was extremely gloomy. "You 2 want to fight too? Stop it. You've already won this battle. There's no need to kill him," the prodigy of the Scorpio race said. The geniuses of the Stone tribe also nodded. They would protect this person. "You guys protected him?" Lin Xian's face turned extremely cold. "So, you want to be my enemy? Kid, enough is enough. Although you are very strong, you are not a match for the 2 of us. With the 2 of us working together, it's easy to kill you. So you'd better think it through." The words of the Stone tribe's genius were laced with a thick threat. Lin Xian looked up to the sky and laughed. "If I want to kill someone, even the Heavenly Emperor can't stop me. Therefore he must die today." Lin Xian raised a hand and pointed at the Scarlet Moon Monarch. Red Feather King's body trembled, his eyes filled with anger. Damn brat. The fact that the other party still wanted to kill him made him furious. The sky prides of the Stone tribe and the Scorpio tribe also darkened their expressions. They had already made their stand clear, they were going to protect King Red Feather. However, the other party actually wanted to kill him. What was the meaning of this? Were they looking down on him? I want to see how you are going to kill me." King Red Feather sneered. Although he was seriously injured and was not a match for the other party, he was definitely safe with the protection of the sky prides of the Stone tribe and the Scorpio tribe. As expected, runes bloomed on the bodies of the sky prides of the Stone tribe and the Scorpio tribe. They would not allow the other party to kill King Red Feather. Lin Xian did not move. A cold light flashed in his eyes. The golden runes quickly intertwined, forming a mysterious pattern that flew forward. The moment the pattern appeared, it brought with it an extremely strong aura. Everyone's expression changed. The pupils of the sky prides of the Stone tribe and the Scorpio tribe shrank. Damn it, what kind of attack is this? They were going crazy because when they were stared at by the eyes, even their souls began to tremble. Not good. King Red Feather's eyelids twitched. The cracks on his body became even more serious when the eyes swept past him. What kind of gaze was this? What was the other party using? He had no time to find out. The runes in the sky flew out. Damn it. Block it for me. The sky prides of the Scorpio tribe and the Stone tribe roared. The 2 of them joined forces and unleashed a shocking attack. They turned into 2 divine rainbows and rushed forward, wanting to block the mysterious golden runes. Not good, everyone retreat quickly. Don't be hit by this energy. The surrounding primordial creatures and human sky prides roared crazily. They knew that the shocking attack of the 3 of them would definitely be extremely terrifying. They quickly retreated to the back. But soon they were stunned. That was because they realized that there was no terrifying explosion of energy as they had imagined. The golden runes were like a divine sword that directly broke the attacks of the 2 sky prides. They charged forward. With a puff, the powerful defense of the 2 sky prides was pierced through. Moreover, it pierced through King Red Moon's head. Buff, buff. Blood splattered. A bloody hole appeared in King Red Feather's head. His eyes were wide open. Not only was his physical body destroyed, but his soul was also pierced through. Impossible. King Red Feather spat out 3 words with difficulty before falling to the ground. He was no longer breathing. Dead. Everyone was dumbfounded. The Sky Prides of the Scorpio tribe and the Stone tribe were stunned. Their bodies were cold and their scalps were about to explode. What was that attack just now? How could he so easily break through the powerful attacks of the 2 of them? King Red Feather was killed. If they were attacked by such an attack, would they be able to block it? They did not know. At this moment they looked at Lin Xian with a face full of horror. The others were trembling. Lin Xian's eyes flashed with golden runes as he frowned slightly. The attack just now was one of the 3 runes that he had obtained from the Black Passage. Previously, he had used his heavenly secret divine eyes to forcibly copy the 3 runes. When he used them, their power was truly terrifying. However, this attack had consumed 1/3 of his soul power. He felt a little dizzy. Therefore, unless it was absolutely necessary, he would not use such a thing. After swallowing 2 pills, he looked at the Sky Prides of the Scorpio tribe and the Stone tribe again. Do the 2 of you still want to fight? The Sky Prides of the Scorpio tribe were stunned, while the Sky Prides of the Stone tribe snorted coldly. Their expressions were extremely ugly. How could they fight? Lin Xian had already killed King Red Feather and used such a powerful trump card. They were not fools. If they fought, they would either be killed or heavily injured. Why bother? They did not have a strong conflict with Lin Xian yet. Therefore the 2 of them did not speak. They turned to look at the fiery pagoda and tried to break through it with all their might. The primordial creatures of the Redwing tribe screamed crazily. They held King Redwing's body and cried, but they were all slapped away by the dark red dragon's claw. Get lost. This thing belongs to me. Chapter 2943. The Crimson Divine Dragon kept King Redwing's corpse. The other 10,000 ancient races and human race geniuses were terrified. Lin Xian was too strong. He had killed King Redwing. That was a young invincible king. How strong was his battle prowess? His Archean power was definitely above 40,000. However, he had been killed so easily. Even the Stone tribe and Scorpio tribe's prodigies didn't dare to fight against him. This kid was too terrifying. Perhaps only the 3 Archean theocrats could subdue him. Yi Wudao, Dustless, and the others looked solemn. What were those runes? Why did they feel like they were the runes in the Black Passage? That's impossible. Even we can't copy them. How could he? They were extremely puzzled. However, if Lin Xian didn't explain, they wouldn't understand. After killing King Redwing, Lin Xian raised his head and looked at the flame pagoda. At this moment, the Scorpio tribe's prodigies and the Stone tribe's prodigies looked solemn. As they held the flame pagoda, they quickly communicated with their souls. Damn it. Can you see what this kid is using? I don't know. It's very similar to the runes in the Black Passage. Does he have a way to copy them? This kid is too strange. We can't provoke him. Don't worry. He killed King Redwing. The Redwing tribe won't let them off. We don't have to do anything. Someone else will kill him. Let's break the pagoda and find the Archean theocrats. While the prodigies were preparing to break the pagoda, in another region, in front of a mysterious palace, a group of powerful Archean creatures stood there. They were the 3 theocrats of the nest of 10,000 dragons. The first 3 were the Fire Dragon King, the 7th and the 9th generation lords. Among them, the 9th Lord of the Divine Emperor Ridge had a pair of phoenix eyes that were filled with anger. Her beautiful face was also covered with ice. Damn you, Hormusian. Hurry up and tell us. How do we break the formation to enter the palace? She looked at the handsome young man from the Fire Chelan cave and gnashed her teeth in anger. They were indeed 1 step faster than the others and reached the 4th area. At this moment, they wanted to break the formation and enter the palace. This palace was even more majestic than the Flame Shrine in the 2nd region. However, it was also more dangerous. Previously, they had used their powerful strength to break through the first 3 regions. But now he couldn't. If they tried to break it by force, they would probably be seriously injured. It was very likely that he would be killed. Therefore, they could only slowly crack the formation. In this way, time was delayed. More importantly, the Divine Emperor Ridge had used several powerful array masters to crack the array. However, there was no effect at all. Even the people from Huanlong's lair were frowning. However, the people from the Fire Chelan cave had an expression of watching a show. It was especially so for Hormusian, who was addressed as the Lord of the 7th generation. There was a hint of mockery in his voice. This made the 9th generation Lord of the Divine Phoenix Ridge so angry that he almost vomited blood. Feng Yinxue, you can't crack it yourself. Could it be that you want to vent your anger on me? Wamuzhen sneered. Damn fellow, do you think you have a way? Don't think I don't know. Feng Yinxue was so angry that her face turned deathly pale. This was because she had been following these people from the Fire Qilin cave all along the way, which was why her speed was so fast. The other party definitely understood the Heavenly Flame City. Therefore, at this moment she also believed that the other party definitely had a way to break the formation. It was just that the other party didn't want to say it. Don't try to shake us off. Your Fire Qilin cave can enter on your own. Let me tell you, there's no way. Right, Fire Dragon King? Feng Yinxue glanced at the Fire Dragon King. It seemed that she wanted to join forces with the nest of 10,000 dragons to pressure the Fire Qilin cave. Sure enough, the Fire Dragon King also said indifferently, Brother Muzhen, if you have a way, just say it. Our three great imperial families should be united, advancing and retreating together. Birds of the same feather? Advancing and retreating together? The experts from the Fire Qilin cave rolled their eyes. They didn't believe such nonsense. However, they didn't dare to say it out loud. Wamuzhen said with a smile, actually, I do know a little about the method to break the formation. Hearing this, the Fire Dragon King frowned. Feng Yinxue, who was at the side, gnashed her teeth in anger. Damn it, I told you, you know. You know, but you still don't want to crack it? You made me waste so much effort for nothing. What are your intentions? Facing Feng Yinshue's strong questioning, Wamuzhen wasn't afraid at all. Although he had a delicate face and looked like he was only 15 or 16 years old, his eyes were incomparably vicissitudes of life. The stars inside were extinguished. He said in a deep voice, we can break it, but our Fire Qilin cave won't provide the method for free. Looking at the majesty of this hall and the strength of the formation, this should be an extremely important place. Then, the things inside are naturally very precious. I really want to know, after we break in, how should we distribute the things inside? Hearing this, the Fire Dragon King narrowed his eyes. So this was the other party's idea. No wonder the other party hadn't made a move. It turned out that he was waiting for them here. Feng Yinxue naturally knew this. Her face was cold. How do you want to distribute it? It was very simple. Wamuzhen's eyes erupted with a piercing cold light, and the shadow of a Fire Qilin surrounded him. He said, I can provide the method to break it and bring you in. However, after entering, our Fire Qilin cave wants half of the treasures inside. We don't care about the rest. You two can divide it. What? Half of it? As soon as these words were spoken, the expressions of the geniuses from the nest of 10,000 dragons and the Divine Emperor scale all changed. The Fire Dragon King frowned and Feng Yinxue sneered. Half of it? Aren't you afraid that you'll die from overeating? Does your Fire Qilin cave really think you're the best in the world? At this point, a Fire Phoenix shadow also rose from his body, emitting a resplendent aura that stirred up the winds and clouds in all directions. The Fire Dragon King didn't say anything. However, the pressure on his body also became terrifying. Countless large cracks appeared in the surrounding void. Behind them, the geniuses from the nest of 10,000 dragons and the Divine Emperor Ridge were the same. All of them had unfriendly expressions as they stared at the Fire Qilin cave. The other party was really too despicable. They were all ancient royal families and no one was stronger than the other. However, the other party opened his mouth and asked for half of the things. What did this mean? Was he looking down on them? Brother Muzhen, isn't your request a bit too much? The Fire Dragon King's voice was cold. Too much? I don't think so. If you think this distribution method is unreasonable, fine, we won't cooperate. The two of you think of a way to go in yourselves. Wamuzhen was looking at the sky with his hands behind his back. Damn it, do you really think you're invincible? Before the Fire Dragon King could speak, Feng Yinxue stood up. The phoenix shadow on her body became even more solid. Terrifying flames overflowed into the sky, carrying mysterious runes as they flew towards Wamuzhen. Wamuzhen also sneered. Feng Yinxue, do you really think I'm afraid of you? In terms of bloodline, you're far inferior to me. Chapter 2944. Indeed, he was the 7th generation lord, and the other party was the 9th generation lord. Since the other party dared to fight him, he was courting death. On Wamuzhen's body, flames surged into the sky, dazzling and resplendent. Around him, the phantom of a Fire Qilin appeared, letting out a ferocious roar. A ferocious aura surged out, confronting the flaming phoenixes that filled the sky. Seeing this scene, the people of the three archaic royal families were extremely nervous. The expressions of those prodigies changed as they frantically retreated. They had no choice, these two people were too terrifying. One was the 9th generation lord, and the other was the 7th-generation lord. Both of them were extremely terrifying prodigies. Probably no one present was a match for them other than the Fire Dragon King. Now that they were fighting, just the energy waves alone were unbearable. On the other side, the Fire Dragon King did not retreat, but he also did not make a move. The phantom of a fire dragon circled around his body, and a powerful aura suppressed the surroundings. It seemed like he was thinking about what to do without falling out with them, and also get the people of the Fire Chilan Cave to help. For a moment, the atmosphere in the entire space was extremely tense, and a battle could erupt at any time. In the third region, Lin Xian and the others raised their heads and looked at the burning flame pagoda in front of them. Kid, be careful. The flames on the pagoda were very powerful, and it seemed that the higher one went, the more terrifying it was. The dark red divine dragon reminded from the side. Lin Xian nodded. As expected, he also realized that the flames on the pagoda were even more terrifying than the flames in the second region. Thinking about it, it should be able to refine his 9-yang divine body again. Thinking of this, he was a little excited. Great. Now that he was already at the 3rd level of the 9-yang divine body, he must cultivate to the 4th level of the 9-yang divine body in Skyfire City. Because if he reached the 4th level, his body would undergo another earth-shattering change. At that time, there would not be many invincible kings who could break his body. However, he also knew that it would be more and more dangerous. He might not be able to protect all the immortal palaces. Therefore, at the next moment, Lin Xian turned his head and said to Peacock, Huidao, Guili, and the other immortal palaces martial artists behind him, "You must be more careful. I may not be by your side all the time. Firstly, do what you can and don't take too many risks." Furthermore, he had to be careful of the other 10,000 ancient races. "Don't worry, Palace Master, we will be careful." Peacock and the rest nodded, their expressions extremely solemn. He wasn't the only one. Murong Qingqing, Shen Jingqiu, Leaf Dao Denier, and the others all gave similar orders to the disciples of their clans. From the looks of it, these elite Sky Prides were going to act alone. Let's go. Sure enough, the Sky Prides of the Scorpio race, the Stone race, and the other Archean prodigies all shouted coldly. He quickly rushed into the flaming pagoda. Let's go. With a wave of his hand, Lin Xian, the dark red mystical dragon, Murong Qingqing, Shen Jingqiu, and the others also rushed forward. Soon they entered the fiery pagoda. After entering the 1st level, they were surrounded by an endless sea of fire, which surged toward them from all directions. Every inch of space was filled with the power of flames. It was extremely terrifying. What a terrifying flame energy. Damn it, get lost. Furious roars sounded out as many people unleashed their king's domains to resist. A few of the weaker ones were instantly burned to ashes. There were also some who were sent flying by the shockwave. Terrifying scenes were taking place one after another, scaring the cultivators who wanted to get close and forcing them to retreat. It was too terrifying. Without super strength, it was impossible to enter. Moreover, this was only the 1st level. This fiery pagoda had a total of 7 levels. Only the heavens knew how terrifying the cities above were. Lin Xian activated his 9-yang divine body, and light bloomed to resist the surrounding flames. Murong Qingqing and Shen Jingqiu also activated their king's domains, and runes revolved around them. None of them could withstand the power of the flames with just their bodies like Lin Xian. There probably weren't many people like Lin Xian. Lin Xian was one, Yi Wudao was another, and there was also the dark red mystical dragon and Dustless. The last one was the Sky Pride of the Stone race. These were all top-notch Sky Prides with super strong physiques. The others used their own methods to resist. Lin Xian sensed for a moment and then his eyes flashed. "Qingqing Qiu, are you too? Be careful." "Don't worry, big brother Lin Xian, I can do it." "Big brother Xian, don't worry about me," the two of them said. Lin Xian nodded. Indeed, although the flames on the 1st level were strong, he wasn't satisfied. He decided to go to the 2nd level. Lin Xian strode towards the 2nd level. This scene caused the hearts of the geniuses from the supreme ancient immortal realms to tremble. This kid is too scary. Yeah, we're almost at our limits, but he's fine. Ah, I'm going too. The dark red mystical dragon's body was also extremely strong. His dragon blood surged as he rushed out. On the other side, Yi Wudao, Dustless, the Sky Prides of the Stone race, Silver race, and some other powerful beings all headed towards the 2nd level. Some of the other Sky Prides and humans gritted their teeth, unwilling to give up. They also tried their best to advance. Everyone wanted to climb higher. The flames on the 2nd level were even more terrifying. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes, and his lips curled into a smile. Not bad, interesting. He turned around and saw that Yi Wudao and the others had also reached the second level. Some of them tried to force their way up, but their bodies were instantly blasted apart, and they screamed as they fell to the first level. Lin Xian glanced over and saw that there were many ancient beings and even human sky prides. Shaking his head, he ignored them. The second level wasn't enough. Lin Xian sensed for a moment, and decided to go to the third level again. Damn, many of the sky prides were cursing. This guy was too sick. They couldn't keep up. The sky prides of the stone race and Scorpio race snorted coldly. Ignore them and experience it yourself. Damn it. These people suppressed the anger and jealousy in their hearts for the time being and watched Lin Xian walk forward. Next to him, Yi Wudao's figure flickered as he headed for the third level. He had a saint body and was extremely strong. Therefore, the flames on the second level naturally couldn't satisfy him. A few other Archean geniuses left as well, including Wu Chen from the Western Desert. When he reached the third level, Lin Xian stopped temporarily. He began to guide the flames around him to temper his 9-yang divine body. Yi Wudao and the others did the same. Everyone settled down on the third level for the time being. The atmosphere was so quiet that it was a little scary. However, the silence only lasted for an incense stick's worth of time, and then a violent tremor came. The entire flame pagoda seemed to be on the verge of cracking. The surrounding sea of flames continued to spread, shattering the void. Many people screamed again. Chapter 29:45. The power of the flames here had actually increased. Lin Xian also suddenly opened his eyes. With a cold shout, his body bloomed with light and quickly absorbed the flames. At the same time he frowned. What happened? It came from above. Yi Wudao raised his head and looked up. Could it be that someone had gone up? Some of the other primordial geniuses were also shocked. The Scorpio race's genius said, "We are not the first group. The 3 ancient royal families have already gone there. In addition, there are some terrifying geniuses who went there earlier than us. Most of them acted alone." That was indeed the case. Hearing this, everyone was surprised. It seemed that someone must have gone to a higher level. But who? Why would it cause such a vibration? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. Golden light flickered in his eyes as if it wanted to see through everything. He seemed to see a few blurry figures above. At the same time, there was a sea of fire that filled the sky. Those flames had turned purple, different from the red flames here. Obviously, it was a more terrifying flame. Among those flames, there was a purple bead that kept circling. The aura of the flames was even more terrifying, bringing with it a monstrous destruction. In fact, it even made him tremble slightly. What was that purple bead? So terrifying. It could actually make his 9-yang divine body tremble. Lin Xian was shocked. Could it be the legendary heavenly fire? Through the heavenly secret divine eye, he saw that the purple bead was wrapped in endless purple flames. It was much stronger than the surrounding flames, almost purple to the point of turning black. He didn't know if it was the legendary heavenly fire. However, he felt the excitement in his body. That's right, it was the cheers of the 9-yang divine body. This kind of flame would definitely be of great help to the improvement of the 9-yang divine body. Lin Xian had no doubt about this. Obtaining it would greatly improve the 9-yang divine body. Lin Xian's eyes burst with a fiery light. This is? On the other side, Wu Chen raised his head with a look of surprise. To be honest, Wu Chen and the 7th generation lord were very similar. They were both 15 or 16 years old, but their eyes were filled with vicissitudes of life and endless secrets. Rumor had it that Wu Chen was the reincarnation of an ancient Buddha, so he must have many secret techniques in his hands. Sure enough, at this moment, it was unknown what kind of divine ability he used, but symbols erupted from his eyes. He was incredibly shocked. From the looks of it, he seemed to have noticed the purple flame pearl above as well. Fire Spirit Pearl. Who would have thought that there would be a Fire Spirit Pearl here? Dustless was shocked. What? There's a treasure above? The other human and Archean sky prides were shocked to hear this. Where is it? The 4th floor or the 5th floor? They didn't know. Someone's expression became grave. It couldn't be the 7th level, right? Let's go and take a look. These people's eyes were burning with passion. Lin Xian also stood up. As long as he could obtain the purple Fire Spirit Pearl, it would definitely be 100 times better than cultivating here. Therefore he had to speed up. Of course, not everyone wanted the Fire Spirit Pearl. For example, the wavering light Saint Sun stopped on the 4th floor. He seemed to have found something and sat down cross-legged. Meanwhile, Leaf Dao Denier was stuck in the 5th level. Other than that, everyone else wanted to ascend to the 6th floor or even the 7th floor. The flames on the 6th floor instantly turned purple. Everyone's faces turned pale, and they even felt despair. As soon as they took half a step, their bodies cracked. Some of them even had half their bodies burned to ashes. Don't be rash. The purple flames are terrifying. Someone reminded them. Everyone stopped. It seemed that the fire spirit pearl should be in the purple sea of flames. Was it the 6th or 7th floor? Someone used a powerful ability and directly streaked across the void to look ahead. The 6th and 7th floors seemed to be open and connected. In other words, from here on out it was the 6th floor. The depths of the purple sea of flames was the 7th floor. Someone else is coming? But you bunch of trash, hurry up and get lost. Just as everyone was discussing how to enter the sea of flames and obtain the fire spirit pearl, suddenly, a disdainful sneer came from the sea of flames. What? Someone's here. Everyone was shocked. They didn't expect that someone would be able to enter the purple flames. Who was it? Was it a prodigy of the Fire Qilin cave? Or was it a prodigy of the other 2 Archean theocrats? They didn't know. In front of them, a figure was walking over. What? A human? These Archean creatures were stunned. Not to mention them, Lin Xian and the others were also stunned. Because it was indeed a person. It was a man bathed in purple flames. This person was handsome and had a terrifying aura. His eyes turned into a monstrous sea of flames that seemed to merge with the surrounding purple flames. Was him. The 5 Elements Palace's saint from 2 generations ago, Fang Yuntian. He was very strong and should have reached the level of an invincible king. He was actually a top prodigy of the 5 Elements Palace. Many people exclaimed. Lin Xian was also surprised. He was no stranger to the 5 Elements Palace. He had even killed the 5 Elements Palace's saint. Up until now, the 5 Elements Palace had already changed several saints. However, the more the saints changed, the weaker they became. He didn't expect the 5 Elements Palace to have such an outstanding prodigy. However, when he heard that he was from 2 generations ago, he understood. Although the other party was also from the younger generation, it was obvious that he was not from the same generation as them. He should have lived for almost 500 years. However, this was not important. What was important was that at this moment, the other party's gaze was like 2 flaming blades that were looking at everyone. Feeling this gaze, many people's hearts trembled. Even the Archean creatures were the same. Lin Xian frowned because he realized that the other party's gaze stopped on him for 2 seconds. However, it quickly moved away. Get lost. A bunch of ants. This is not a place where you can come so easily. For the sake of your lives, you'd better leave quickly. Fang Yuntian waved his hand impatiently. Then he turned around and strode forward. Following his footsteps, the surrounding flames actually dispersed on their own. Damn it, how dare you look down on us? The Archean creatures roared angrily. The Stone Tribe's prodigy's expression was cold. He took a step forward and directly shattered the void. His entire body was bathed in a sea of purple flames. Endless stone runes flickered on his body, blocking the purple flames. The Scorpio Tribe's prodigy laughed but did not make a move. Instead, she looked around with her beautiful eyes. Buzz, she did not make a move, but a woman in a black dress walked up. This woman opened her mouth and spat out a jade gourd. The gourd opened and poured out a merciless black water that enveloped her. Underworld river water. Damn it, she actually has such a thing. She's from the Black Tiger Tribe, right? Chapter 2946. A drop of Nether River and a million skeletons. Nether River water was formed from countless corpses and carried an extremely sinister aura. One could say that it could only be formed in the primordial battlefield previously. Unexpectedly, the Black Tiger race had so much Nether River water. As soon as this extremely cold black water appeared, it enveloped the black-dressed woman and blocked the surrounding purple flames. The black-dressed woman chuckled and quickly walked forward. Someone else attacked. That person walked out with a half-saint artifact. That half-saint artifact turned into a green storm and shrouded his body. He should be a prodigy of the Nether Ghost race. Many people used powerful techniques. On the human side, a few people also walked out. Seiko Dian directly spat out a fire Aegis pearl. Wherever it passed, the purple flames would make way. It looked like there were many people eyeing the fire spirit pearl. The 1-pound dark red divine dragon muttered softly, "Kid, what do you plan to do?" Lin Xian's eyes flashed. Of course he would attack. I must get this thing. It's very important to me. But there was no hurry. Let's wait and see. It was a good opportunity to use these people to gauge the strength of the people inside. At the same time, he could see how strong the purple flames were. Previously, Lin Xian had used his heavenly secret divine eyes to see that there were at least 3 figures around the fire spirit pearl. Now that Fang Yuntian had appeared, there should be 2 more who had not come out from the depths of the purple sea. He wondered who those 2 people were. Those people unleashed their various abilities and rapidly proceeded forward. Soon they were surrounded by the endless purple sea of fire. But gradually their expressions changed, because the purple flames in front of them suddenly became violent. Balls of flames appeared in the depths of the sea of fire, turning into flaming beasts that roared. Buzz! Many people looked as if they were struck by lightning. Their bodies were charred black and some even cracked. Damn it! Even the terrifying geniuses were roaring furiously. Among them, the nether river water on the black tiger race woman's body was also emitting white smoke. It looked like it was about to evaporate. This made the black-dressed woman not dare to move forward. On the other side, the genius with the half-saint weapon also stopped. That was because his accompanying sacred artifact had received a fierce impact. Although there was no immediate danger to his life, the collision of energy still caused his blood to churn. There was even one person whose magical treasure was torn apart. He was rammed into by a flaming beast. Blood splattered everywhere, and the smell of roasted meat wafted through the air. The geniuses who were standing at the edge of the crowd gasped when they saw this scene. What a terrifying sea of purple flames. Those people were powerful and had many treasures, but they were still unable to reach the innermost part. I really don't know how those people got in. Had their strength already reached such a terrifying level? Lin Xian also narrowed his eyes. He had seen enough, so there was no need to wait any longer. Kid, are you going to make a move? The dark red divine dragon asked. Why don't we wait and let those people kill each other for a while? When it's about time, we'll clean up the mess. No, those people were very strong. Perhaps some of them could really seize the treasure. Lin Xian's expression was grave. How about this? I'll go alone first and you'll help me out outside. Alright then, be careful. Lin Xian nodded and strode forward. With one step, white smoke rose from under his feet. Endless purple flames swept toward him crazily, trying to burn him to ashes. Lin Xian snorted. His 9 yang divine body shone brightly, and the 9 yang divine fire fought against the purple flames. At the same time, he activated his cultivation technique, absorbing the flames as he walked. That kid actually went in on foot. That's right, he didn't use any special ability, nor did he use any powerful treasures. As expected of the 9 yang divine body, one of the strongest physiques in the world. Many people exclaimed in admiration and envy. The people in front also turned their heads and frowned. Further in, 3 figures stood in front of the fire spirit pearl, guarding against each other. At the same time, their eyes were burning with passion. At that moment, the previous saint of 5 elements palace, Fang Yuntian, suddenly frowned. He turned his head to look. That kid has made a move? He really doesn't know what's good for him. He originally wanted to get rid of him after getting the fire spirit pearl, but he didn't expect him to rush to his death. Since that's the case, I won't stand on ceremony. He naturally recognized Lin Xian. Lin Xian had killed many of their 5 elements palace's prodigies, so Fang Yuntian wouldn't let him go. However, it was only a matter of time. Not far away from him there was also a figure. This figure only looked like a human, but it was actually a dragon. A 2-headed dragon. His body was covered in scales, and his 2 dragon heads were incomparably ferocious. Obviously he was a prodigy of the nest of 10,000 dragons. The last one was a woman. A huge qilin pattern crawled across half of her body. Her gaze also pierced through the sea of fire and looked into the distance. Was that the guy? He actually wanted to get his hands on the fire spirit pearl. What a reckless thing. The 2-headed dragon of the nest of 10,000 dragons also sneered. However, in the next moment they frowned. Even in the distance many people screamed. Behind them, Lin Xian took a few steps and suddenly became extremely fast. He seemed to have transformed into a golden sword light, piercing through the purple sea of fire. That speed was shocking. As a result, the pupils of the Black Tiger clan, Silver clan, and Stone clan's prodigies all constricted. They were all blocked previously and couldn't move forward at all. They could only resist here. However, Lin Xian actually surpassed them in an instant, reaching deeper into the sea of fire. Could it be that this kid wanted to die? Impossible. His body definitely couldn't withstand it. These people roared crazily. However, Lin Xian's speed didn't weaken at all, and even became faster. Because at this moment, not only did he activate the 9 yang divine body, but he also activated the great dragon sword soul. Terrifying sword energy formed on his body. The terror of the great dragon sword's soul obliterated everything. The purple flames couldn't hurt him at all. Therefore Lin Xian soon arrived at the depths of the purple sea of fire. Damn brat, he actually had such ability. In the depths of the sea of fire, 3 figures frowned. The 2-headed dragon snorted coldly, and the woman from the fire-chilling cave also frowned. She looked up at Fang Yuntian and said coldly, "How about this, with the 2 of us here, you won't be able to get the fire spirit pearl. Why don't you help me block that kid and I can give you other benefits?" "What benefits?" Fang Yuntian frowned and asked. Indeed, he didn't have much confidence in facing 2 primordial prodigies. "I'll give you a 5,000-year-old earth core flame." Hearing this, Fang Yuntian's pupils constricted, then he smiled. "You said it yourself. Don't worry, as long as you block him, I'll give you a wisp about the size of a finger," the woman from the fire-chilling cave said in a deep voice. Chapter 2947. Although he could not obtain the fire spirit pearl, to be able to obtain a portion of the 5,000-year-old earth core flame was also extremely good to him. The next moment he turned around and walked outside. Very soon he welcomed Lin Xian and blocked Lin Xian. When those people outside saw this scene, they exclaimed in shock. 5 Elements Palace's previous generation holy son, Fang Yuntian. He actually made a move. Was he going to intercept Lin Xian? Heavens, I saw that there seemed to be 2 people inside. Who were those 2 people? No idea. But this Lin Xian was most likely doomed. Yes, that Fang Yuntian was so terrifying. Just relying on his own divine ability, he could enter and exit the purple fire sea calmly. He was definitely one of the pinnacle prodigies. This Lin Xian absolutely could not block it. Definitely, Lin Xian was just a little stronger physically. But in terms of divine abilities, he was not Fang Yuntian's match at all. Far away, those people were discussing animatedly. They naturally knew about the grudge between Lin Xian and 5 Elements Palace. Facing off against Lin Xian, Fang Yuntian absolutely would not show mercy. "You're that Lin Xian, right? Gutsy to actually dare to have designs on the fire spirit pearl. Do you think that you have the qualifications?" Fang Yuntian's voice was ice cold. "Are you going to intercept me?" Lin Xian frowned. "Didn't expect that you're actually working for the primordial creatures. Really shameful." Just now, when Fang Yuntian came out, he brought along an endless sea of fire. Lin Xian saw that those 2 figures were not humans but primordial creatures. He did not expect that this Fang Yuntian actually reached an agreement with 2 primordial creatures. Looks like he should have obtained some benefits from the other party. "Kid, don't talk nonsense. Even if there are no primordial creatures, I'll still kill you. Do you really think that those things that you did to my 5 Elements Palace previously, I can let you leave alive?" Speaking up to here, his eyes erupted with piercing cold killing intent. "So, you want to stand up for 5 Elements Palace?" When Lin Xian heard this, the corners of his mouth curled up into a cold smile. "However, do you have the qualifications to do so?" "What an insolent brat. I can't help but want to tear you to shreds." Fang Yuntian's originally handsome face had a trace of malevolence. He was the holy son of the previous generation. He was very powerful and had entered the invincible king realm 50 years ago. Now, it had completely stabilized and even reached a higher level. Among the younger generation there were not many who were his match. Previously, he had been able to enter the sea of purple flames and compete with the geniuses of the ancient theocrats. This was enough to prove how terrifying his strength was. However, this kid in front of him actually dared to look down on him. This even made him feel unreal. "Tear me to shreds? I'm afraid you don't have that ability." Lin Xian's expression also darkened. "Let me give you a piece of advice. Get out of my way. Otherwise, I'll make sure you die a horrible death. Reckless guy, anyone who dares to say such things to me has already gone to hell. You are no exception." The killing intent on Fang Yuntian's body completely spread out. He hooked his finger, and the surrounding flames immediately spread out, turning into extremely terrifying flame beasts that charged forward. In an instant, 5 flame beasts were formed, and they were incomparably ferocious. Bus. Lin Xian used the Yin-Yang 8 steps, and like a phantom, he instantly dodged the attacks of the 5 flame beasts and appeared in another direction. "You're quite fast. You're out of my expectations. However, do you think you can escape from me?" Fang Yuntian was not angry when his attack missed. Instead, he revealed an even more cruel smile. At this moment, his body was covered in flames, and he was like a flame god of war, releasing a biting cold aura. "I want to escape? Are you an idiot? It's obvious that your attack speed is too slow, and you can't hit me at all." Lin Xian fiercely counterattacked. 9 suns divine fire spread out from his body, making him look like a fire god. His voice was even more rumbling like thunder. It shook everyone until their faces turned pale. What a sharp-tongued brat. Let's see if your strength is as good as your mouth. If you don't have the ability, then die. Fang Yuntian had completely lost his patience. He formed a seal with his palms, and the surrounding sea of fire surged as if it had come to life. In an instant, another 8 purple beasts appeared. Each of them was incomparably huge, as if they were real beasts, and they surrounded Lin Xian. Die. With a furious roar, these flame beasts completely exploded, and boundless energy engulfed Lin Xian. How terrifying. This move could directly kill an invincible king. Yes, as expected of Fang Yuntian. He was too terrifying. He could definitely compete with the top 10,000 ancient races. The human race actually had such a prodigy. It was truly terrifying. In the distance, those people were discussing animatedly. Even the primordial prodigies had solemn expressions. Indeed, they did not expect the human race to have such a terrifying prodigy. It seemed that they had still underestimated the human race. After so many years of reproduction, the human race had produced many powerhouses, and there were even more prodigies. It was just that many of them had not appeared before. Now that it was gradually revealed, the strength of some people truly shocked them. For example, Fang Yuntian in front of them could actually control the purple flames. This was something that even they could not do. It's just a mere flame. What can it do to me? Amidst the violent energy in front, a cold shout sounded. Following that, a wisp of sword light appeared, and all the flame beasts were split apart. Lin Xian strode out. The light on his body was still as bright as before, and he did not receive any damage. Is this all you've got? If that's all you have, then you can get lost. Lin Xian shouted coldly. That attack just now was just a casual attack. I didn't even use half of my strength. Next, I'll show you my true strength. Accompanied by Fang Yuntian's voice, a purple fist blasted out. Fist of fire. The purple sea of fire surged, turning into a purple vermilion bird that tore through the void and charged forward. Feeling the phantom of the purple vermilion bird, the people in the distance were terrified, and their souls trembled. It was too terrifying. Even though they were so far away from this punch, they were still terrified. One could imagine how terrifying the attack Lin Xian was facing was. Do you think I'm afraid of you? Lin Xian also waved his hand and charged forward. In an instant, the battle between the two erupted. The entire sea of fire turned into a purple vortex, and endless energy spread out from the vortex. Not good. Retreat. The prodigies of the Black Tiger race, Stone race, and Silver race who were still holding on in the sea of fire also frantically retreated. They were already on the verge of collapse, and now with the addition of the violent energy, they could not stay any longer. Some of them were even slower and were directly pierced by the energy. Blood splattered everywhere, and they evaporated before they landed on the ground. Amidst the violent energy, Lin Xian's expression was cold. He had to admit that Fang Yuntian was quite strong. Chapter 29:48. However, he did not have the time to waste on Fang Yuntian. There were 2 figures in front of him, and they seemed to be trying to get the Fire Spirit Pearl. If they succeeded, it would be troublesome. Therefore he had to end this quickly. He had to get rid of Fang Yuntian first, and then snatch the Fire Spirit Pearl from the 2 primordial elites. I wanted to play with you, but I don't have time to deal with you now. Lin Xian's eyes turned sharp. The great dragon sword soul in his body roared out, and the surrounding purple flames surged like waves, crashing in all directions. Behind him, 8 purple fire dragons were formed and spewed in all directions. They intertwined and formed a picture of a fire dragon. The great dragon sword soul? Fang Yuntian frowned. He knew that Fang Yuntian not only had the 9 yang divine body, but also the great dragon sword soul. When he felt the sharp aura, he was sure that Fang Yuntian had activated the great red dragon sword soul. It really made people envious. Fang Yuntian snorted in his heart, and his eyes turned red. He wanted to kill Fang Yuntian and snatch his great dragon sword soul. He could not believe that Fang Yuntian had obtained such a precious treasure. Well, since you're in a hurry to die, I'll show you my trump card. Fang Yuntian's face was ferocious. Endless flames emerged from his body, and they turned into lotus flowers that bloomed in the air. Earth-shattering heavenly lotus. Countless lotus flowers gathered in the sky, and they flickered continuously. A terrifying fiery aura spread out. It made people tremble. What shocked them even more was that there were shadows in the lotus flowers, as if they were trying to break free. What are those? Seeing those shadows, many people were terrified. Even the primordial elites felt a chill run down their spines. They felt that a peerless beast was about to crawl out. Even Lin Xian could feel the aura. Immediately he frowned. He had to admit that Fang Yuntian's move was very powerful. Even he felt threatened. He snorted, and the great dragon sword soul in his body was fully activated. The 8 fire dragons behind him let out deafening roars. Every time they turned their bodies, the void would shatter. It was too scary. These 8 fire dragons were like real dragons, making people tremble. Even the 2-headed dragon, who was in the deepest part of the sea of purple flames, frowned. A piercingly cold light burst out from his eyes. Damn it, this brat actually dares to use my dragon's divine ability. It wasn't only him. The woman from the fire Qilin cave also frowned. That was because the 8 fire dragons were becoming more and more powerful, as if they were going to break through the heavens and earth. In front of him, Fang Yuntian was also frowning. No, he couldn't let his opponent's aura grow any stronger. Otherwise he might not be able to withstand it. Therefore he quickly attacked. Go to hell, brat. Xiao Qin threw a palm strike, and the fire lotuses in the sky charged forward together with the mysterious illusions. Even invincible kings couldn't withstand this attack. Lin Xian also waved his arm. Following his sword light, the 8 fire dragons behind him roared ferociously and charged forward. Boom! Majestic power exploded, sweeping in all directions like a sky full of waves. The fire lotuses in the sky were shattered by the 8 fire dragons, and countless cracks appeared. Those mysterious phantoms also disappeared along with him. Oh, damn it! How can you be so powerful? Fang Yuntian's expression changed for the first time. He didn't expect his divine ability to be broken by his opponent. How can the 8 fire dragons be so powerful? I've said it before, with your strength, you don't have the right to be arrogant in front of me. Lin Xian quickly charged over. He stepped on the 8 fire dragons and attacked like a fiend god. Damn it! It was the power of the dragon sword soul. Fang Yuntian exclaimed. He realized that he had underestimated the power of the dragon sword soul. Therefore he wanted to escape now. However, how could Lin Xian let him escape? He stomped his foot, and the 8 fire dragons under his feet coiled, enveloping the entire world. Stay here. Lin Xian's palm transformed into a golden mountain of flames and descended from the sky, wanting to suppress Fang Yuntian. Damn it! Fire element fist, block it for me. He struck out with the fire element fist again, and a vast fist resisted it. However, it was shattered in an instant. Blood splattered everywhere, dyeing the sea of flames red. Fang Yuntian screamed. His fist was shattered, but this was just the beginning. In the next moment he was sent flying by a sword. His body was also split in half. Oh! Fang Yuntian was terrified. At the same time he was very decisive. He used the blood that flowed out to draw lotus flowers again, and he quickly burned them and rushed into the distance. Soon he tore through the sky and escaped. What? This guy burned his bloodline power? Oh heavens, he ran away. Was Lin Xian so powerful? No one expected the 5 Elements Palace's saint from 2 generations ago to burn his bloodline and escape in a panic after exchanging a few blows. This scene was really beyond their expectations. Lin Xian snorted coldly. He looked at the other party's fleeing figure, but he didn't chase after him. It was too late. He had to hurry and snatch the fire spirit pearl. His body swayed and he stepped on 8 fire dragons, quickly charging into the depths of the purple sea of flames. Damn it, he actually lost. What a piece of trash. He couldn't even hold on for such a short time. In the depths of the sea of flames, the 2-headed dragon and the woman from the fire Qilin cave looked gloomy. Especially the prodigy from the fire Qilin cave, she was very dissatisfied. She originally thought that this human prodigy could help her solve a problem. She didn't expect him to run away. Long Ao, help me. After it's done, I'll give you something of equal value in exchange. This fire spirit pearl is very useful to me. The 2-headed dragon pondered for a moment and then said, Okay, but I want you to give me a Qilin stone. Qilin stone. The prodigy from the fire Qilin cave's pupils shrank, and she was furious. Damn it, this guy was really asking for too much. The Qilin stone's value was no less than the fire spirit pearl in front of her. Moreover, this stone was only available in the Qilin cave. It was a stone that was transformed from the ground under their feet when they were born. It could be said to be very precious. However, this fire spirit pearl was indeed very important to her. Therefore, the woman nodded and said, Okay, I'll give you one. Deal. The double-headed dragon Long Ao's mouth curled up into a smile. In the next moment, his body swayed and he rushed out. Let me take care of him. As he moved, the surrounding sea of flames kept shaking, spreading to both sides. In the end it formed a vacuum. Terrifying dragon silhouettes dashed out from the sky. Accompanying them was a power that made one's soul tremble. Damn it, did someone come out again? Everyone had just recovered from the shock of Fang Yuntian's defeat when they trembled again. Even the other prodigies looked as if they had seen a ghost. Chapter 2949. What? The geniuses of the nest of 10,000 dragons? They finally made their move. This time everyone screamed. Even the geniuses of the human race were facing a great enemy. Nest of 10,000 dragons. Did the legendary dragons, their geniuses, finally make their move? I wonder how powerful he would be. Just from this aura alone, it had already surpassed Fang Yuntian's. Nest of 10,000 dragons? Lin Xian also narrowed his eyes. He stopped, stepped on the 8 fire dragons and looked ahead. Kid, get lost. This is not a place where you can get involved. The two-headed dragon said coldly. Someone said that to me just now. However, he has already been beaten away by me. What? Do you want to follow in his footsteps? Don't compare me to that trash. Let me tell you, if I make a move, you have no way to survive. I will send you on your way now. The two-headed dragon made his move. He was very decisive because in his opinion, killing the other party was no different from crushing an ant. As he stretched out his palm, a terrifying dragon roar sounded between heaven and earth. The surrounding sea of fire also followed his movements, turning into purple dragons that rushed forward. In the distance, those people gasped as they looked at the scene in front of them in horror. It was too terrifying. Just a casual palm strike was enough to create such a heaven-defying phenomenon. Was this the power of the dragons? It was really shocking. In the sky, 18 purple flame dragons twisted in the air, roaring and emitting shocking energy fluctuations. Then they tore through the void towards Lin Xian, wanting to tear Lin Xian into pieces. Destroy. Lin Xian roared as the divine flames on his body bloomed, turning into a flaming sword that he held in his hand. With a slash of the sword slashed in all directions, filling the sky with sword light. Bang, bang, bang. It collided with the 18 purple fire dragons in the sky. Boom, boom. A huge explosion occurred in the void as endless flames surged into the sky. The 18 purple fire dragons roared non-stop, turning into a sea of fire that descended. Lin Xian's sword light also slowly faded and disappeared between heaven and earth. In the distance, everyone was terrified. This attack was simply too terrifying. Both of them were top-notch geniuses. Lin Xian stood in the void, his eyes flickering. He had to admit that the two-headed dragon was very powerful, even stronger than Fang Yuntian. The other party was actually able to block his sword light. His sword light had indeed surprised him. No wonder you could defeat Fang Yuntian. You have some strength. The two-headed dragon also nodded slightly. However, it's still not enough to deal with me. That palm strike just now was just a casual strike of mine. Next, I will use my full strength. Can you block it? As he spoke, his eyes was filled with disdain. When these words were spoken, the martial artists in the distance were shocked. Heavens, was it really just a casual attack? The dragon race was truly ferocious. Even those archaic paragons felt their scalps tingling. Is that so? That sword strike just now was just a casual strike of mine. You being able to block it is nothing to be proud of. Lin Xian looked calm as well. You are indeed a stubborn brat. I know that you have the great dragon sword soul. However, even if he possessed the great dragon sword soul, you're no match for me. Kid, let me give you a piece of advice. If you want to live, kneel down obediently and offer up your almighty sword soul. How can an ant like you be worthy of the almighty sword soul? Only dragons like me are worthy of it. As he spoke, the two-headed dragon's aura became fierce again. Purple dragons circled around him, roaring non-stop. Their voices shook heaven and earth. Boom. Another palm strike was sent over. This time, in addition to the terrifying purple flames, there was also monstrous thunder in the flames. Obviously, the power of this palm strike was much stronger than before. In the distance, the geniuses were terrified. They were already unable to withstand the previous palm strike. Now, they were even less of a match for this palm strike. Most likely, no one present would be able to stop him. That kid is dead meat. That's a divine beast of heaven and earth. How can a human fight against it? In their opinion, this time Lin Xian was bound to lose. Divine Nine Suns Fist. Lin Xian shouted coldly and waved his fist. The divine Nine Suns fire completely erupted and turned into a golden crow that rushed forward. Otherwise, The almighty sword soul in his body rumbled and turned into rays of sword light that burst out with blazing light. He also slashed out. This time Lin Xian was furious. Boom. An earth-shattering sound was heard. The purple flames and lightning palm were blasted away by the punch. The remaining energy was shattered into pieces by the sword chi that filled the sky. Not only that, but the fist and sword aura were also rushing toward the two-headed dragon with a very sharp attitude. This time the two-headed dragon's face darkened. Previously the other party was able to block its casual attack. It did not think much of it, but this time it was surprised. This time its power had increased. In its opinion, the other party should not be able to block it. However, it did not expect the other party to not only block it, but also attack it so powerfully. Damn kid, I'll skin you myself. I'll pull the almighty sword soul out of your body. Boss. He snorted coldly, and a red saber rushed out from between his eyebrows and was held in his hand. The saber was extremely terrifying. It emitted a monstrous murderous aura. As soon as it appeared, it swept in all directions. It caused everyone's souls to tremble and many people knelt on the ground. Damn it, the flood dragon saber. It's made of the bones of a flood dragon. Moreover, it's probably a very terrifying flood dragon. Many archaic creatures screamed in fear. It was a terrifying half-step sacred artifact. Boom. The saber slashed down and flames surged in the sky. The terrifying saber light tore through the sky and split the earth. This time it was even more terrifying. Obviously, the two-headed dragon was furious. Humph. Lin Xian snorted coldly and waved his hands. The divine Nine Suns fire combined with the great dragon sword soul quickly appeared in front of him. A large bronze bell appeared. The bell was very simple and unadorned, and runes were all over it. Although it was just an illusion, it seemed like a real divine artifact. It carried a monstrous aura. Clang. A terrifying sound rang out and the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. Flower Protector. Damn it, he summoned a terrifying killing weapon, Flower Protector. These people screamed in fear. Flower Protector was a famous killing weapon in ancient times. Once Flower Protector was used, it could kill 9 heavens and 10 earths. Lin Xian was too confident. He had Flower Protector, but he didn't take it out. He was just relying on his ability. Did he think that the divine ability he summoned could contend against the other party's treasured saber? Screams rang out one after another, and the two-headed dragon's face also darkened. To be honest, the bronze bell that appeared in the sky also gave him a feeling of fear and trepidation. Especially that sound wave, even his soul shook a little. Bus. Bus. Boom. Chapter 2950. In the end, the two of them vanished into thin air. He blocked it again. Many people exclaimed. The two-headed dragon's face was gloomy. Lin Xian stepped into the air and his voice was cold. Next, I'll let you have a taste of my divine power. He raised his palm, and the sword chi in the sky intertwined, turning into a black steel that descended from the sky. Suppress it. The steel emitted a thick demonic chi that made people tremble. Oh heavens, the great dragon sword soul is really too terrifying. Everything it evolves is incomparably real. Nonsense. That's an offensive saint technique of heaven and earth. Whoever gets it will definitely be an incomparably terrifying existence. This Lin Xian is really terrifying. Many people were terrified and envious. Although they didn't know what the other party had evolved this time, the terror was definitely not inferior to the Flower Protector. What Lin Xian had evolved this time was the terrifying Devil Steel in Black Demon Cliff. At this moment, it descended from the sky and could really suppress everything. Boom. The two-headed dragon couldn't reach it in time. He was blasted by the Black Devil Steel and fell into the flames. With a boom, the ground trembled. The huge Devil Steel pressed down on his body. The dragon scales on his back dimmed and even shattered. Dragon blood dyed the void red. Damn it. I'm going to kill you. I must kill you. The two-headed dragon screamed crazily, his eyes red. He was injured. He was actually injured by the other party. Moreover, at this moment he was being pressed to the ground by the other party. This kind of humiliation was unbearable. Boom. He roared, and the dragon blood in his body surged, forming a powerful force that shattered the Black Devil Steel above him. He stood up and charged towards Lin Xian. Like a red hurricane, the frenzied blade in his hand was even more powerful. This time he was completely enraged. Moreover, he had the intention to kill. As a prodigy of the dragons, he was extremely powerful. Usually no one dared to challenge him. The other ancient royal families had to be respectful when they saw him. But now he had been injured by a mere human. Moreover, so many people saw it. If he didn't kill the other party, how could he establish himself in the future? Whoosh! The saber slashed down like a peerless wild saber. Combined with the flames that filled the sky and the terrifying thunder, its power was astonishing. This saber strike could cut down invincible kings. Lin Xian executed his Yin-Yang 8 steps and shifted his position, instantly dodging the sword. A terrifying black hole appeared where he had been standing, swallowing the purple flames. Brat, you can't escape. No matter where you run to, you will definitely die today. The double-headed dragon was brimming with killing intent. His body had also become 3 times larger than before. The 2 heads emitted a terrifying light. One of the heads was surrounded by flames, while the other was surrounded by thunder. Lightning and fire intertwined, providing him with powerful energy. Annihilation slash. Another slash came. This time he used the power of his bloodline. In the sky, the power of lightning and fire intersected. Together with the power of the bloodline, they turned into a shocking rainbow that slashed down from the sky. The surrounding space froze. Everyone's body trembled, unable to dodge. They could only crawl on the ground. Lin Xian, on the other hand, was not afraid at all. He let out a long laugh. He reached out with both hands and grabbed upward. It seemed that he wanted to take the saber with his bare hands. Heavens! In the distance, everyone exclaimed in disbelief. You're courting death. Do you think that your 9-yang divine body can block my saber strike? What a joke. The double-headed dragon kept roaring. The dragon blood on his body emitted a terrifying aura. Lin Xian roared. Mysterious runes appeared on his body one after another. The 9-yang divine fire burned fiercely. His body shone with boundless light. At this moment he really looked like a golden god of war. His palms were incomparably resplendent. They carried a supreme power as they blasted forward. Clang! Many of the geniuses' ears bled. Many of them even fainted. The flames on Lin Xian's body were torn apart. The terrifying saber light hit his body and made a clanging sound. White traces were left behind. However, it did not break his body. This scene shocked everyone. Not only that, Lin Xian even put his palms together, grabbed the opponent's long saber and swung it forcefully. Get the hell out of here. This move of his could shatter 100,000 mountains. Although the double-headed dragon was a dragon with a strong physique and powerful bloodline power, it was still too weak. Under Lin Xian's heaven-defying divine power, its long saber was snatched away. It kept arguing in the sky. Lin Xian's eyes burst with a piercing cold light. It turned into 2 sword lights and blasted on the long saber. Boom! The long saber dimmed. In the next moment, Lin Xian grabbed the saber hilt and slashed at the double-headed dragon. Brr! The long saber let out a terrifying roar. The great dragon sword soul in Lin Xian's body rumbled. A mysterious and terrifying power burst out. The saber turned into a giant dragon that was 100 feet long. It descended from the sky and directly enveloped the double-headed dragon. No! The double-headed dragon screamed crazily. Its body turned into a giant dragon that was a few thousand feet long and soared into the sky. Lightning and fire spread out from its body. The power of its bloodline turned into mysterious runes that carried a powerful force. It was as if a divine dragon was fighting against a shocking saber. Boom! Boom! The saber fell and the sea of fire surged. Hundreds of thousands of lightning bolts fell. A terrifying black hole appeared in the sky, and a miserable cry rang out. Immediately after, dragon blood drifted in the air. A dragon claw fell from the sky and shattered the void. It fell to the ground. The surrounding purple sea of fire could not spread at all. In fact, it kept retreating. What? It's injured. The prodigy of the dragons is injured. The primordial prodigies widened their eyes in disbelief. What did Lin Xian do? Lin Xian cut off a dragon claw with a single saber strike? Is he trying to slay a dragon? They were terrified. Lin Xian let out a long howl and kicked the 2-headed dragon's head, causing it to fall to the ground. At the same time he said, "Ruffian dragon, I'll leave this guy to you. I'll go get the fire spirit pearl." Roar! The double-headed dragon kept rolling on the ground. That kick had deformed one of its heads. Many of the scales on its body also fell off. It roared crazily, and a series of dragon roars resounded through heaven and earth. "Damn brat, I'm going to kill you." He spoke in human language, and the dragon chi on his body surged into the sky, turning into terrifying rays of light that shot into the clouds. He wanted to soar into the sky and kill Lin Xian. However, in the next moment, a red claw descended from the sky like a red mountain and slapped its head again. The head that had just healed was deformed again. "Stop running, I'm your opponent." A strange cry sounded in the sky. The double-headed dragon was furious. "Who is it? How dare they stop me?" He let out a terrifying roar. At this moment, the dragon might spread and everyone trembled. That was the suppression of bloodline. However, the voice in the sky was indeed disdainful. "Two-headed kid, how dare you compete with me in dragon might? Are you courting death?" Chapter 2951. At this moment, everyone was stunned. Even the two-headed dragon was stunned on the spot. Its body began to tremble, and intense fear appeared on its two enormous dragon heads. Damn it, it's a dragon roar. What pure dragon blood. The other party's dragon might was actually stronger than his, and it even suppressed him to the point that he could not breathe. "Who is it?" He raised his head with difficulty and looked forward. In the sky, a dark red divine dragon bared its fangs and brandished its claws, looking at him with disdain. "Damn it, it's the snake beside that brat. How can he have such a terrifying dragon might?" The others were also stunned. They knew that Lin Xian had a dragon beside him, but they did not expect that dragon's aura to be so terrifying. Could it be that his bloodline power is above that of the primordial paragons of the nest of 10,000 dragons? Thinking of this, they felt dizzy. In the depths of the purple sea of fire, the paragon of the fire Qilin cave trembled when she heard the terrifying dragon roar, and the blood in her body almost froze. Shock appeared in her eyes. Damn it, what's going on? Could it be that the two-headed dragon was defeated? She could not believe it. Also, what's with the dragon roar? Has a more terrifying paragon than the dragons arrived? She turned her head to look. However, in the next moment she turned pale with fright and screamed as she dodged. A biting cold saber light descended from the sky, tearing apart the divine flames that filled the sky and slashing towards her, wanting to cut her in half. Fortunately, he was strong enough. At the critical moment, he quickly dodged and turned into an afterimage. However, this saber still brushed past her body. Immediately, a strand of hair on her head was cut off, and even her neck felt cold. All the hair on her body stood on end. Damn it, who is it? The female paragon screamed crazily, and her eyes turned into two fire Qilins roaring in the sky. In the next moment she was extremely shocked. Damn brat, it's you? She saw clearly that it was Lin Xian. It was Lin Xian holding the purple dragon saber and charging over quickly. Damn it, could it be that Long Ao was defeated? He was extremely shocked. That was a two-headed dragon with great strength. How could it be defeated? Previously, he did not observe the battle as she had used all her strength to seize the Fire Spirit Pearl. After all, this Fire Spirit Pearl might be a precious treasure, but it was too terrifying and had to be sealed carefully. Otherwise she would definitely be burned to a crisp. Therefore she did not know what was happening outside. At this moment she probed with her soul spirit, and her face turned gloomy. Outside, Long Ao and a dark red dragon were fighting, but Lin Xian had already arrived in front of her. Damn it, this kid actually has a dragon as a helper. Fang Yuntian and the two-headed dragon have already been defeated. You are the only one left. Do you still want to fight me? Lin Xian looked at the other party. I advise you to leave obediently. As Lin Xian spoke, he released his soul force and scanned the surroundings. He saw that not far from him, there was a fist-sized purple bead that was spinning non-stop. It was covered with mysterious patterns. He could clearly feel that the Fire Spirit Pearl was emitting a terrifying power of flames. The power of the flames caused even his 9-yang divine body to tremble slightly. One could imagine how terrifying it was. No wonder the woman in front of him did not succeed after such a long time. The woman from the Fire Qilin cave snorted coldly. The flames on her body formed a Qilin armor, covering her beautiful body. At the same time, a terrifying light burst out from her eyes. With a wave of her hand she kept sliding in the sky. The flames in the sky condensed into a terrifying Fire Qilin, surging and roaring. You are courting death. Since this is the case, don't blame me for being ruthless. Lin Xian shouted coldly. This time he did not use his divine eye, but took out Flower Protector directly. Now that his 9-yang divine body had reached the small success stage, he was not as careful as before when he used Flower Protector. Sure enough, after taking out Flower Protector, he held it in his hand and shook it non-stop. The terrifying sound waves swept in all directions, and the surrounding purple flames were suppressed and dimmed. Qilin Shield. Seeing this scene, the woman shouted and turned into shields with Qilin patterns engraved on them. There were a total of 8 shields around her, forming a strong defense. Bus. Lin Xian raised his hand and pushed the great dragon sword soul, sending a wave of energy into Flower Protector. Immediately, Flower Protector enlarged, and the runes on it also spread out. Together with the sound waves, it swept in all directions. The sound waves hit the Qilin shield, making earth-shattering sounds. The terrifying sound waves and the power of the great dragon sword soul worked together to destroy the Qilin shield. In the end, the flames on the Qilin shield dimmed and made cracking sounds. With a bang, 3 Qilin shields shattered, and a hole appeared in the defense of the Fire Qilin Cave's prodigy. The sound waves in the sky finally found an opportunity and turned into a torrent, quickly surging in. Damn it! The female prodigy's expression changed. A hint of fear and anger appeared in her eyes. She screamed, opened her mouth, and spat out a light wave that surged forward. It was a treasured furnace. It was incomparably simple and had a very strange shape. As soon as the treasured furnace came out, it kept enlarging like a small mountain, spiraling in the sky. At the same time, it attracted countless purple flames to provide energy. Above the treasured furnace, wisps of purple smoke emerged. The purple smoke was like divine swords that could destroy everything. Die for me. The Qilin prodigy roared angrily. The purple sword light slashed toward Lin Xian. The divine might on it was vast and mighty, terrifying everyone. This primordial prodigy really had a lot of treasures in his hands. This purple treasured furnace should also be a half-step sage artifact. Lin Xian snorted coldly, grabbed Flower Protector, and activated his divine power. Flower Protector continued to expand, covering the sky like a giant bronze mountain. Lin Xian waved it and smashed it down. Clang! An earth-shattering sound rang out, and the terrifying sound waves shook all directions. The purple sword light that filled the sky was shattered. The Qilin prodigy was also sent flying, spitting out a mouthful of blood. Her face became ferocious. Damn it, damn it. The other party did not play by the rules at all. That was a half-step sage artifact. Who would use it like that? One had to know that the power of a half-step sage artifact was unfathomable, far surpassing that of a heaven-grade treasure artifact. Some of them could even emit Dao patterns. That was a supreme killing weapon used in conjunction with a great mystical ability. But what about this kid in front of her? He did not use the mystical ability that a half-step sage artifact should have at all. Instead, he relied on brute force and the hardness of the half-step sage artifact to go on a rampage. This scene was truly driving the woman mad with anger. She tried hard to take a few deep breaths to calm herself down. Once again she controlled the treasured furnace and quickly attacked. Lin Xian sneered. I'm not going to play with you anymore. I'm going to collect the Fire Spirit Pearl. At this point, he clapped his hands and took out the Saint's Hand bone. Chapter 2952. Oh no. The Qilin prodigy's expression changed. She did not expect the other party to have the bone of a saint. She gritted her teeth and shouted. Kid, I admit that I've underestimated you. You actually have such a treasure. But do you think you can stop me with that? You're too naive. Fire Qilin sword. The female prodigy shouted, opened her mouth, and spat out another flying sword. It was a fiery red flying sword that was about the size of a palm. As soon as it appeared, it kept expanding until she grabbed it in her hand. She waved the long sword gently, and a terrifying sword light slashed in all directions. It was like a peerless immortal light. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. He was a peerless swordsman. How could he not be excited when he saw a peerless sword? Previously he had used the ancient Dragon Abyss sword. Although it was also a treasure, it was only a top-tier heaven-grade artifact. But now it could not keep up with his strength. Therefore, under normal circumstances, Lin Xian would directly use the Nine Suns' divine fire and transform it into sword qi. In times of danger he would use the Flower Protector and the Nine-layered pagoda. However, although these two half-sage artifacts were powerful, they could not allow him to unleash 100% of the power of his sword Dao. Now, when he saw the fiery red long sword in the woman's hand, he immediately became interested. This sword suits me very well. He stretched out a large golden hand and grabbed in front of him. You're courting death. The prodigy of the Fire Qilin cave was so angry that she almost vomited blood. She had taken out the sword to kill the enemy. Who would have thought that the other party would take a fancy to her sword before she even made a move? He even wanted to take it by force. Damn you, I'll chop off your claws. She shouted and waved the Fire Qilin sword, slashing forward. With a clang she slashed at the golden hand. Sparks flew, and the Fire Qilin sword trembled non-stop. The woman's hand was numb. Lin Xian's hand was also forced back, and there was even a crack on his hand. It can actually injure me. As expected of the sword that I've taken a fancy to. The light in his eyes became even brighter. I must have this sword. He charged forward again. In the sky, countless palm shadows shot out, each of them grabbing at the blazing Qilin sword. Be destroyed. The paragon of Fire Qilin Grotto wielded the Fire Qilin sword and slashed in all directions. In an instant, the countless golden palm shadows were all destroyed. It had to be said that this treasured sword was too powerful. No wonder Lin Xian was moved by it. In fact, the origin of this treasured sword was indeed extraordinary. This blazing Qilin sword was forged using the scales of a blazing Qilin and the 10,000-year starry sky iron. Could be said that it was extremely frightening. It was a well-known existence even among semi-sage tools. After dozens of moves, Lin Xian also frowned. He had to admit that this sword was really too sharp. He had actually destroyed all of the palm prints that he had sent out. 2 more cracks even appeared on his palm. It seemed that he had no choice but to use some tricks. Although you have a treasured sword, your sword art is not that great. Next, let me show you what a real sword art is. Lin Xian's expression was ice cold. The divine flames on his body flickered, forming a flaming long sword that he held in his hand. Nine Yang sword art. With a slash of the sword, sparks flew and easily broke the other party's sword chi. The golden sword art and the treasured sword in the other party's hand resisted each other. After more than 100 moves, Lin Xian used 9 suns open the sky to cut off the other party's arm. The woman screamed, but Lin Xian waved his hand and grabbed the blazing Qilin sword like a dragon head. When he grabbed it, the blazing Qilin sword struggled crazily. On the sword, Fire Qilins appeared and charged at Lin Xian quickly. The distance was very close. In an instant, the Fire Qilins pounced on Lin Xian. With a boom, Lin Xian was sent flying and spat out a mouthful of blood. Buzz! The light in his eyes became brighter and brighter. It was indeed a peerless sword. You can't escape. He reached out his hand again and transformed it into 5 giant dragons that sealed the Fire Spirit sword. The Fire Qilin phantoms were forcibly destroyed by his 9 Yang sword chi. In the end, he directly sent out the great dragon sword soul and merged it with the blazing Qilin sword. With a boom, the blazing Qilin sword completely exploded. The terrifying sword chi enveloped the entire sea of fire. At this moment, the people outside were all stunned. Many people were sent flying by a powerful force. They rolled far away and were dumbfounded. Damn it, what happened? What happened in the depths of the sea of fire? The battle inside was too intense. The dark red divine dragon and the 2-headed dragon were still fighting outside. Therefore they had no idea what was happening to Lin Xian inside. Who was the one who unleashed this sword chi? Was it Lin Xian or Lin Xian's opponent? The 2-headed dragon's eyelids were also twitching. Oh no, could it be that she had failed? I say, don't worry about others, worry about yourself first. The dark red divine dragon laughed sinisterly and charged over again. In the sky, the 2 giant dragons were hundreds of feet long. They were constantly roaring and clashing with each other. The scene of the giant dragons fighting was too terrifying. However, at this moment, everyone's gaze was shocked by the energy in the depths of the sea of fire. Everyone wanted to find out what was going on. In the depths of the sea of fire, Lin Xian held the blazing Qilin sword in his hand and smiled. The great dragon sword soul forcefully infused into it and directly destroyed the blazing Qilin mark. Now that he had infused the power of the great dragon sword soul into the sword, it completely belonged to him. It really was a good sword. Thank you very much. Lin Xian looked at the other party and said with a smile. Damn it. The blazing Qilin sky pride was about to go crazy. Her broken arm had grown out again, but her heart was bleeding. Such a powerful Dharma treasure was snatched away by the other party. He even destroyed her mark in an instant. The mark was not only hers, but also the blazing Qilin sword itself. It could be said that no one below the sage level could destroy it. However, the other party easily destroyed it. This was completely beyond her understanding. Let me try the power of the blazing Qilin sword. Lin Xian slowly raised his arm. In the next moment he activated the great dragon sword soul. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The blazing Qilin sword trembled and shone brightly. The entire sky was quickly torn apart. Golden sword chi circled the 9 heavens. Damn it, how could he unleash such power? On the other side, the blazing Qilin sky pride's face was extremely ugly. Even she could not unleash the blazing Qilin sword to such an extent. However, the other party, a human youth, was able to unleash the power of their clan's treasure to such an extent. If she had not seen it with her own eyes, she would not have believed it even if she was beaten to death. Bus. 9 suns open the sky. Lin Xian slashed down with his ultimate move, splitting the entire sky in half. The blazing Qilin sky pride on the other side screamed and threw out countless Qilin shields to defend herself. Chapter 2953. Damn it. The prodigy was so angry that her eyes and ears were on fire. This time, not only did she not get the fire spirit pearl, but she also lost her treasure, the fire Qilin sword. She swore that she would kill this brat and take back the fire Qilin sword at all costs, even if she had to use some secret techniques that would harm her body. With a shout, she was enveloped by endless bloodline power. Her body fused together and her palms quickly formed a seal. The bloodline power burned rapidly. A terrifying aura burst out. "Brat, I won't let you go." Her voice was cold. Lin Xian's eyes were intertwined with golden runes, forming a mysterious pattern. He directly attacked. With a puff, the opponent's body was penetrated. This pattern was one of the 3 patterns he had obtained in the dark tunnel. It was also the method he used to kill the Red Moon King. This time, it directly drained 1/3 of his soul power. However, in order to end the battle quickly, Lin Xian did not care about this. The fire Qilin prodigy wanted to use a great mystique, but it was instantly shattered. The power of that rune had nearly destroyed her soul. She screamed in fear and did not dare to fight with the opponent again. She quickly fled, turning into a stream of light. Damn it, she actually ran away? How could this be? The 2-headed dragon sensed this and was stunned. He did not expect the prodigy of the fire Qilin cave to escape. What the hell is going on? Could it be that the brat had already reached such a terrifying level? He did not dare to imagine. After defeating the prodigy of the fire Qilin cave, Lin Xian did not chase after her. He also did not join forces with the dark red divine dragon to kill the 2-headed dragon. He turned and looked at the fire spirit pearl not far away. Right now, the most important thing was to collect this fire spirit pearl to prevent any undue delay. Taking a deep breath, he put away the fire Qilin sword and flower protector. The energy in his body kept surging. Previously, the female prodigy of the Qilin cave had spent so much time but still failed to get the fire spirit pearl. One could imagine how terrifying the fire spirit pearl was. Thus he had to be careful. Bus. The 9 yang divine constitution and the great dragon sword soul circulated together, enveloping his palm and turning it into a dragon head. He grabbed forward. With one grab it covered the fire spirit plant. Bus. Caught. Lin Xian was delighted. However, in the next moment, his pupils abruptly constricted and his expression changed. This was because the moment he grabbed the fire spirit pearl in his palm suddenly trembled at an extremely fast speed. An astonishing amount of heat was like the rumbling of 100,000 volcanoes. Boom. His palm instantly exploded and turned into a bloody mist. Not good. Lin Xian's expression changed. His 9 yang divine body was actually injured. Just because of a single strike from the other party. It was too terrifying. How much energy did this fire spirit pearl contain? Boom. In the blink of an eye, Lin Xian used a magical incantation to heal his broken hand. Wrapped in dragon-shaped sword energy, he reached out again. Boom. Boom. At the instant he grabbed it, the terrifying power once again spread through his body, causing his palm to split open once again. Hold your ground. Lin Xian roared, pushing his 9 yang divine body to the limit. This time, although cracks appeared on the palm, it did not explode into a bloody mist. Be destroyed. Seeing this scene, the great dragon sword radiance in his body surged out crazily, turning into sword energy that exploded from his palm, bombarding the fire spirit pearl, trying to subdue it. However, the fire spirit pearl was too terrifying. The mysterious runes on it flickered, and wisps of purple flames surged out, resisting the sword energy. Not only that, the power flowed through Lin Xian's hand and spread throughout his body. Crack, crack, crack. Countless cracks appeared on his 9 yang divine body. At this moment he was like a broken porcelain doll, about to collapse at any moment. If the people outside saw this scene they would definitely scream in horror. They had never seen Lin Xian suffer such serious injuries. Even when he was fighting with King Red Feather, his body did not collapse to such an extent. Damn it, be destroyed. Lin Xian's eyes widened, his eyes red. Although his body was broken, he still did not let go of his hand. The 9 yang divine fire and the great dragon sword soul continued to intertwine, turning into seals trying to seal the fire spirit pearl. However, this fire spirit pearl was too terrifying. He did not know who left it behind. He did not know what grade it was. Lin Xian guessed that no one among the invincible kings could subdue it. Perhaps only a saint would be able to do that. Did he really have to give up this thing? Lin Xian shook his head. He was unwilling, but the power coming from it was too terrifying. Especially the runes on the fire spirit pearl. They were like Tao runes, emitting a mysterious power. Even if those sect leaders came, they might not be able to seal it. Lin Xian sighed. He was unwilling. Although he knew it was dangerous, Lin Xian still did not let go. He roared, shaking the 9 heavens. The 9 Yang divine body and the great dragon sword soul were activated by him, and they even began to burn the 9 Yang divine fire. The great dragon sword soul was enveloped by a ball of divine fire, burning fiercely. Lin Xian's body was covered in flames. However, the fire spirit pearl seemed to have been stimulated. With a bang, the runes on it exploded again. Suddenly, the entire sea of fire surged and countless large cracks spread out from the depths of the sea of fire. The dark red dragon and the 2-headed dragon who were fighting outside were instantly sent flying. Both of them vomited dragon blood. Damn it, what happened? The 2-headed dragon was terrified, and the dark red dragon was also worried. Kid, are you okay? There was no reply, only Lin Xian's angry roar. The geniuses and primordial geniuses who were watching the battle from afar were also sent flying by the energy. Many people's bodies directly cracked, and they were so scared that they screamed crazily. Retreat, retreat quickly. They did not dare to stay at the edge anymore and directly pushed to the 5th floor. Some even pushed to the 3rd and 2nd floor. However, it was not safe. The entire flaming pagoda was shaking and could break at any time. It was as if it was really going to collapse. They had to escape quickly. These humans and primordial geniuses fled one after another and completely left the flaming pagoda. They fled outside and looked at the pagoda in front of them in horror, trembling. Damn it, what happened at the end of the day? The dark red dragon wanted to rush to the 6th floor to save Lin Xian, but it was directly blasted out by a force. This made it gnash its teeth in anger. Murong Qingqing and Shen Jingqiu were also very nervous. They did not go to the 6th floor but went to other places to look for opportunities. Both of them had gained a lot, but at this moment they were chased out by the flames. What happened? They asked the dark red dragon. When they learned that Lin Xian was in danger, the two of them were very nervous. No, they had to save big brother Lin Xian. Chapter 2954. Everyone had come out except for that Lin Xian. It's over. That Lin Xian must have been trying to snatch the fire spirit pearl. What mechanism did he trigger? He actually unleashed such a terrifying power. Everyone was talking about it. The 2-headed dragon, however, laughed out loud. Ha ha ha. His 2 gigantic heads laughed maniacally. Kid, you're really courting death. I didn't expect the power of the fire spirit pearl to be far beyond my expectations. If we had snatched it, we might have been banned by now. He was feeling very good now because the fire spirit pearl should have been theirs. But they were defeated by the other party. But it didn't matter. So what if they were defeated? That kid was strong, but in front of this power he would definitely be smashed to pieces. This power was not weaker than a saint's. No one below a saint could resist it, even if they had a saint artifact. Indeed, when the primordial elite sensed this power, they all revealed sinister smiles. Even the injured Qilin race's prodigy had returned. Her ice-cold face was filled with malevolence. Brat, go to hell. Damn kid, nothing must happen to him. The dark red divine dragon roared, shocking the 10,000 ancient race experts. At the same time he looked ahead worriedly. The 10,000 ancient races were intimidated by the dragon's aura and didn't dare to speak. But everyone was laughing coldly in their hearts. In their opinion, Lin Xian was definitely going to die this time around. At this moment there was still no one left in the flame pagoda. Of course, Lin Xian was the only exception. Lin Xian was on the 7th floor of the flame pagoda, surrounded by countless purple flames. Previously, he had forcefully raised his strength and burned his body to seal the fire spirit pearl. But he had triggered the fire spirit pearl's ferocious nature. It unleashed an attack that wasn't weaker than a saint's. So at this moment, Lin Xian's body instantly shattered. Boom. Lin Xian's 9 Yang divine body exploded into pieces. Blood flowed and his corpse flew everywhere. It was a horrifying scene. This was the most serious injury Lin Xian had ever suffered. However, he didn't die. At his level, unless his soul was completely obliterated, he wouldn't die. Lin Xian's soul was wrapped in the dragon sword soul and fused into one. At this moment he let out a crazy roar. So what if my body is destroyed? My soul. Battle spirit. Condense. With a furious roar, Jiao Yang's body condensed again, and his palm reached for the fire spirit pearl again. But it shattered 9 yang. Just like that, Lin Xian shattered 9 times in a row and reformed 9 times. His face was incomparably pale, and his strength and soul were both extremely weak. Although Lin Xian possessed the great dragon sword soul, he was not immortal. Thus, if he continued to forcefully seize the heavenly Tao, he might really be destroyed in the end. Although the situation Lin Xian, he wouldn't give up. His eyes were filled with determination and unyielding determination. Adalin. A swordsman is a sharp weapon, unyielding even when twisted. Lin Xian's voice was sonorous like thunder. He had the conviction that even if he had to die, he had to seal this fire spirit pearl. This was the last time. Lin Xian didn't hold back. He used all his ultimate moves. At the same time, the mysterious little sword in his body began to change again. This mysterious small sword had been with him since he started cultivating. It was given to him by his father. Usually it didn't do anything in his body. In fact, he had almost forgotten about it. But at this critical moment there was another strange change. A sword light appeared on the mysterious small sword and enveloped the fire spirit pearl. Suddenly the fire spirit pearl, which was as strong as a saint, calmed down. The flames on it also weakened. Then it rushed toward the mysterious small sword. With a swoosh, it disappeared into the mysterious small sword. Was it taken in? Lin Xian was shocked. He reformed his body. He didn't probe the mysterious small sword at all. He realized that it was even more mysterious than the dragon sword soul. He only knew that there was a strange space in the mysterious small sword. Wine Lord was in there. He had been in there before, but he could only move around in a small area. Usually he couldn't activate the mysterious small sword. He didn't expect the mysterious small sword to show its power at this critical moment. It took in the terrifying fire spirit pearl. Not only that, he felt the world spinning. He was also taken in by the mysterious small sword. In the next moment he was in that strange space again. The ancient tree in front of him had withered. He didn't know how long it had been there. He vaguely remembered that Wine Lord used to drink wine under this ancient tree and guide him in his cultivation. Now Wine Lord had left and become a super saint. He was no longer the ignorant youth. The space in the small sword had a special power. It made the violent fire spirit pearl as docile as a kitten. Lin Xian was tempted. He tried to absorb the power in the fire spirit pearl. On the surface of the fire spirit pearl, the purple pattern spread again. Terrifying flames spread. But this time it wasn't so fierce. Although the power was terrifying, Lin Xian felt that it wasn't a fatal threat to him. Great, I can absorb it. Lin Xian was happy. Although he still didn't understand the secret of the mysterious small sword. But now he didn't have time to think so much. He had to quickly use the flames in the fire spirit pearl to increase the power of the 9 young divine body. Buzz. Lin Xian waved his hand and sent out the dragon sword soul. He let it absorb the power of the fire spirit pearl. At the same time he used the power of the fire spirit pearl to temper the 9 young divine body. He definitely wouldn't let go of such a fierce power. For a moment, Lin Xian cultivated here. Outside, the dark red dragon and the others didn't leave the flame pagoda. They were waiting anxiously. If Lin Xian didn't come out, they wouldn't leave. However, those ancient creatures didn't wait. In the 3rd district, there were many other places besides the flame pagoda. They began to search for other places. Among them, the Redwing race, Baiyin race and Blood Moon race began to work together to kill those related to Lin Xian. The main targets were the Dark Red Dragon, Murong Qingqing and Xinjingqiu. After all, Lin Xian had a deep hatred for these ancient races. Previously, Lin Xian was so strong that they couldn't defeat him. But now, Lin Xian was killed and they had nothing to worry about. They swore that they would kill everyone who was related to Lin Xian. They wanted to send all of them to hell. A huge battle broke out. Although Lin Xian was no longer there, the Dark Red Dragon and Murong Qingqing weren't jealous. Xinjingqiu was also strong. In addition, they had the support of their sacred grounds. Therefore the battle was very fierce. However, the 10,000 ancient races were too strong. Many prodigies began to work together. In the end, the 2-headed dragon and the female prodigy from the Fire Qilin cave that Lin Xian had injured also made a move. Chapter 2955. Luckily, both of them had powerful trump cards, so they were not killed. Ah! I heard you two are that brat's women? Today I will kill both of you in front of everyone. I will humiliate both of you to death. I will let everyone know the consequences of offending the 10,000 ancient races. Not only will the people involved die but everyone else will also die. I will kill you in the most humiliating way possible. The dual-headed dragon roared as he stared at Murong Qingqing and Xin Jingqiu. On the other side, the prodigies of the Scarlet-Winged race, the Silver race and the Blood Moon Rental race also surrounded them. Don't kill this woman. Cripple her, break her limbs and disfigure her. I want to take it and exchange it with the Phoenix clan. The female prodigy of the Fire Qilin cave had a cold expression. He knew that Murong Qingqing's bloodline was extraordinary, and the Divine Emperor Qilin wanted it. Although he did not obtain the Fire Spirit Pearl, as long as he captured Murong Qingqing and handed her to the Divine Phoenix Ridge, the Divine Emperor Ridge would definitely give him a treasure even more precious than the Fire Spirit Pearl. Alright, then I will kill this dragon. His bloodline power is even stronger than mine. If I eat it, I will definitely evolve. When that happens, I will definitely become the strongest bloodline under the Crown Prince. The dual-headed dragon was also excited. Then this woman will be mine. The prodigy of the Silver race can hold off Xin Jingqiu. I just happen to be lacking a slave and a cultivation vessel. I will use that brat's woman as my slave. As for the people of Immortal Palace, all the women will be slaves, and the men will be thrown into the 18 levels of hell, never to be reincarnated. The 10,000 ancient races stared at the martial artists of Immortal Palace and smiled maliciously. Damn it, how dare you! Gu Santong roared angrily and led the Gu clan over. Yi Wudao also snorted and stood out. I will not allow you to do such a thing to Brother Lin's friends. They were on good terms with Lin Xian, although Lin Xian's fate was unknown. However, they wouldn't allow the 10,000 ancient races to attack Murong Qingqing and the others. Seeing Yi Wudao, Gu Santong and the others step forward, Immortal Palace's martial artists breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, someone was helping them. However, in the next moment, their expressions became extremely ugly. What? You want to stand up for that Lin Xian? The two-headed dragon sneered. This is a personal grudge between us and that brat. If you stand out, it will become a grudge between the human race and the 10,000 ancient races. Do you think the 10,000 ancient races will be afraid of you? As they spoke till here, the other geniuses of the supreme ancient immortal realms laughed out coldly as powerful figures appeared one after another. All of them walked out. What? Do the humans want to fight us again? I'll play with you guys. In this battle, all of you will definitely die here. Yi Wudao, Gu Santong and the others frowned when they heard this. Damn it, this fellow actually wants to unite all the 10,000 ancient races. Holy Son, we can't be impulsive. The Yi family's disciples quickly advised. The other holy sons and holy daughters also said, Brother Yi, please reconsider. Brother Yi, please don't start a war between the human race and the 10,000 ancient races. We can't withstand such a blow. Damn it, how despicable. The dark red dragon was so angry that it stomped its feet. It originally had hope, but it didn't expect that hope to be destroyed. Don't blame me today, two-headed dragon. I'll stew you with the bloodline of dragons that don't remember. The dark red dragon was truly enraged. With a roar it charged out. The two-headed dragon snorted. You think I'm afraid of you? Today I'll drink your dragon blood and evolve. The two dragons collided in the sky, and a terrifying sound wave surged in all directions. At the same time, the Fire Qilin Grotto's prodigies, the Silver Race's Heaven Sex prodigies, and the Blood Moon Race's prodigies all attacked Murong Qingqing and Xin Jingqiu. Murong Qingqing snorted coldly as the phoenix phantom on her body spun rapidly from a lotus platform beneath her feet. Kill. With a delicate shout, she used the Jade Pool's divine ability and fought with the Fire Spirit Grotto's prodigy. On the other side, Xin Jingqiu also used Zixia's divine ability and attacked quickly. The two of them could be considered top-notch saintesses. They were powerful and could reach 35,000 units of archaic power. Could be said that they were extremely terrifying. As expected, the moment the two of them attacked, countless people cried out in surprise. Heavens, they were actually so powerful. That's right. Murong Qingqing was powerful, but they didn't expect Saintess Zixia to be so powerful. They hadn't seen her fight many times, but she was also so terrifying. Many people looked at Xin Jingqiu's figure in shock. Even the 10,000 archaic races had solemn expressions. Of course, there were also people who sneered. So what if she's powerful? Isn't it just 35,000 units of archaic power? She's not a match for us at all. Besides, we have the Heaven Sect on our side. We can overwhelm them with numbers. That was indeed the case. Apart from Murong Qingqing, the Dark Red Divine Dragon, and Xin Jingqiu, the others like Peacock, Huidao, and the members of Immortal Palace were a bit weaker. However, they were the elites of Immortal Palace and had many ultimate techniques in their hands. At this moment they didn't fight alone. Instead, they worked together to form a powerful killing formation to resist. It's useless. You can't beat me. I have 40,000 units of archaic power. The Fire Qilin Grotto's prodigy laughed. With a wave of his hand, the Fire Qilin rushed out and collided with Murong Qingqing's Phoenix Phantom. In the sky, countless bolts of lightning shot out like flood dragons, piercing through all directions. Murong Qingqing didn't say anything. Her beautiful face was incomparably cold. Indeed, the other party was right. She was a top-notch existence in the human race, but the other party was too powerful. This battle seemed to be evenly matched, but it made the blood in her body boil. If it wasn't for her special bloodline, she would have been killed by now. As expected of the five-colored Phoenix bloodline. Without the corresponding inheritance, she could grow to such a level. It was unbelievable. But now it could end. The Fire Qilin Grotto's female prodigy said coldly. To be honest, she was also very surprised. One had to know that in addition to the power of their bloodline, they also had a bloodline inheritance passed down from ancient times. This inheritance was a kind of cultivation method. Only this kind of inheritance method could allow one's bloodline power to be maximized. Without it, one wouldn't be able to use the advantage of their bloodline power. However, the woman in front of her didn't have the Phoenix bloodline inheritance at all. But with just her bloodline power, she had already grown to the top of the human race. If she was given a secret bloodline inheritance method, she would definitely soar into the sky. She might even be a peerless prodigy among the 10,000 ancient races. However, she wasn't afraid. The people who came to the Divine Phoenix Ridge would definitely not allow him to continue growing. All she needed to do now was to grab hold of him. Buzz. With a wave of his hand, the purple furnace was taken out. Endless smoke turned into purple sword lights that shot forward. Buzz buzz buzz. Chapter 2956. Murong Qingqing waved her phoenix-winged golden fan, which filled the sky with light. She cut open the void and instantly appeared on the other side. The place where she was originally standing was drowned by endless sword qi and turned into nothingness. Damn it. Too strong. Murong Qingqing's expression was ugly. In the distance, the spectators also exclaimed. It was too dangerous. If one was hit by the sword qi, even an invincible king would be instantly killed. 40,000 units of the ancient era's power was truly terrifying. That was for sure. The 10th generation son by Qiansan only had 38,000 Archean power. This woman was even more terrifying than the 10th generation son by. Was this the strength of an Archean royal family? Everyone exclaimed. The cultivators of the Jade Lake sacred ground were in despair. That was because Murong Qingqing was really in danger. Do you think you can dodge it? Just as Murong Qingqing was about to heave a sigh of relief, a cold voice came from behind her. Then, a palm with flames in the sky slapped her body. Off. Murong Qingqing shot out countless lotus shadows to block behind her, but she was still sent flying by the palm. In the next moment, she spat out a mouthful of blood and flew backward. Not good, the Jade Lake sacred ground was injured. Everyone exclaimed. Sacred ground. The cultivators of the Jade Lake sacred ground screamed and rushed forward, but more Archean creatures appeared and stopped them. You want to leave? Stay here. These were the Archean creatures of the Blood Moon clan and the Redwing clan. Their faces were ferocious as they blocked the cultivators of the Jade Lake sacred ground. Not only the cultivators of the Jade Lake, but the cultivators of the Immortal Palace and Xixia sacred ground were also affected. Many of them were injured and some of them were even blasted into pieces. The scene could be said to be very miserable. Sister Qingqing. Shen Jingqiu also cried out when she saw this scene. She anxiously turned her head to look. Little girl, why don't you worry about yourself first? The prodigy of the Silver Clan smiled sinisterly and waved his hand. Silver runes shone and turned into a silver mountain that blasted toward Shen Jingqiu. Shen Jingqiu also spat out blood and flew backward. Not good, Saint Daughter Xixia was also injured. Damn it. The dark red divine dragon roared. He was so angry that his whole body was trembling. Just you wait, when little Shenzi comes out, I'll have him kill all of you. He was about to go mad with anger. What? Do you still want that brat to live? How could this be? The aura within the flame tower was comparable to that of a sage. Perhaps even those sect leaders would not be able to withstand it. Do you think that kid will be able to survive? What a joke. He has already gone to hell. Soon I will send you to hell and let you reunite in the netherworld. Ferocious voices rang out one after another. Murong Qingqing and Shen Jingxiu's injuries worsened. However, they weren't killed because the 10,000 ancient races didn't want to kill them. In the sky, countless purple sword chi intertwined and formed a deity-binding net that enveloped Murong Qingqing. She was about to be sealed. Not good. Murong Qingqing's heart sank. Am I really going to be captured by someone? If that was the case, he might as well die. At this moment of crisis, a golden fist appeared in the sky and shattered the seal in the sky. Had Lin Xian come out? Everyone exclaimed. That golden fist was too terrifying. However, they soon realized that it wasn't. It wasn't Lin Xian but Yi Wudao. Yi Wudao had made a move. At this critical moment, Yi Wudao had saved Murong Qingqing. Damn it, do you want to fight the entire 10,000 ancient races? The female prodigy from Fire Qilin Cave screamed. Yi Wudao's strength was terrifying. He had a sage physique and could definitely threaten her. However, he probably wouldn't dare to use his full strength. Otherwise, the 10,000 ancient races would definitely slaughter these people mercilessly. You're overthinking it. I won't use the Yi family's power, but Brother Lin and I will be fine. I'm standing up for him, so it doesn't count as fighting the 10,000 ancient races. Yi Wudao soared into the sky. Me too. Gu Santong stood out. No Flower also stood out. The three of them had a good relationship with Lin Xian, so the three of them attacked together. As for their sacred grounds and families, they didn't move. They watched the battle from afar. This way, it wouldn't count as a war between the human race and the 10,000 ancient races. Yi Wudao, right? I've long wanted to test out a sage physique. Today I'll play with you. The female prodigy from Fire Qilin Cave shouted and formed a seal. The Fire Qilin symbol on her body shone even brighter. Her bloodline power condensed into a clone that charged towards Murong Qingqing. As for her true form, she shot toward Leaf Dao Denier. I'll fight you. The White Silver Warrior and the Blood Moon race sent two heavenly sects to meet No Flower and Gu Santong. In an instant, the battle erupted again. There were too many prodigies from the 10,000 ancient races, and each one of them was incomparably powerful. We humans aren't their match at all. Many people shook their heads. Although Yi Wudao and the other two had taken action, it seemed impossible to reverse the situation. Sure enough, Murong Qingqing was already heavily wounded. Although she was only facing a doppelganger, the power of this doppelganger was extremely frightening. It was roughly equivalent to Bai Qiansan's with 38,000 units of archaic power. Murong Qingqing was already difficult to deal with when she wasn't injured. Now that she was injured, she was even harder to deal with. Therefore, in less than 100 moves, she would be in danger of being sealed again. Shen Jingxiu was in mortal danger. The White Silver clan was the uncrowned king. Their primordial prodigies were extremely powerful. The fact that Shen Jingxiu could hold on until now was enough to shock the humans and primordial prodigies. This woman was incredible. She probably also had a mysterious bloodline. Ah, I didn't expect you to be so talented. Be my cauldron and dual cultivate with me. I guarantee that your cultivation will advance by leaps and bounds. The prodigy from the White Silver clan threw his head back and laughed. His eyes were fiery red as he stared at Shen Jingxiu. Too perfect. Not only was Shen Jingxiu beautiful, but she also had a strong bloodline. To him this was the best outcome. He reached out a large golden hand. Countless runes flickered, forming a cage that completely enveloped Shen Jingxiu. Shen Jingxiu resisted with all her might, but she couldn't break out of the silver cage. It's useless. The difference between us is too great. Even if you attack with all your strength, you won't be able to break my cage. The prodigy from the White Silver clan sneered. Although he wasn't as strong as Tianxiao from the Fire Qilin Cave, he still had 38,000 units of archaic power. Big brother Lin Xian. Shen Jingxiu's face was pale. She turned to look at the flame pagoda, revealing a sad but beautiful smile. Although she was trapped, she wouldn't give in no matter what. Even if she was killed, even if she self-destructed, she wouldn't let him succeed. On the other side, Murong Qingqing was also surrounded by countless purple sword chi, completely sealed. She also looked at the flame pagoda. Big brother Shen Qingqing will accompany you in the next life. A hint of determination appeared in her eyes. There was no choice. The difference was too great. Although she had the power of a bloodline, she didn't have a bloodline inheritance. In addition, she was seriously injured. Just a clone of her opponent could sweep through everything. How could he seal her? Chapter 2957. Goodbye. Murong Qingqing's blood began to burn. On the other side, Shen Jingxiu's power also became chaotic. Both of them wanted to self-destruct to destroy their enemies. Damn it, it's not that easy to self-destruct. If you dare to self-destruct, I'll kill everyone who says there's a jade lake. The female prodigy from the fire-Chilan cave also screamed. However, they couldn't stop it. Seeing the power in their bodies becoming more and more chaotic, a terrifying aura erupted. Not good. Run. As for the surrounding people, they were running away in a frenzy. The self-destruction of two top geniuses of the human race was absolutely devastating. Don't. The dark red dragon screamed like a madman. On the other side, Gu Santong and the other's side. Was there no turning back? Just as everyone was in despair, a pair of shining palms appeared in the sky and enveloped Murong Qingqing and Shen Jingqiu. Soon the destructive power disappeared. What happened? Those people who were running away all stopped and looked behind them in bewilderment. Could it be that they didn't self-destruct successfully? Were they sealed again by the 10,000 ancient races? They turned to look. The prodigies from the 10,000 ancient races were also stunned, especially the prodigies from the Silver Tribe and fire-Chilan cave. Were those hands Yi Wudao's? They looked at the golden fiery palms and cried out in shock. Many people looked at Yi Wudao, but Yi Wudao frowned. No, it wasn't Yi Wudao. Could it be? It was Lin Xian. It was the temple master. The cultivators from Immortal Palace cried out crazily. The dark red dragon also roared with laughter. Ah, I knew it. How could that brat die like this? Brat, hurry up and come out with me. We have to kill them. What is it, that brat? Damn it, it's impossible. How could he still be alive? That saint-level power had long since crushed him to pieces. There was no way he could survive. Many archaic prodigies screamed. The prodigies from the fire-Chilan cave, the two-headed dragon, and the Silver Tribe all narrowed their eyes. They stared at the glowing palms in the sky. Brother Lin Xian, is that you? Murong Qingqing and Shen Jingqiu were also very surprised. They originally wanted to perish together, but they didn't expect that at the last moment, someone would suppress their strength. He had saved them. Boom. Boom. In the sky, the two golden hands exerted force and shattered the purple sword Qi. On the other side, the silver cage that sealed the world was destroyed by a single slap. Two large palms wrapped around Murong Qingqing and Shen Jingqiu and brought them to a safe place. Then they turned into two flame barriers protecting the two of them. What? It shattered in an instant? The eyes of the genius of the Argent tribe and the woman from the fire-Chilan cave widened. Who was he? His methods were actually so powerful. Was it really that kid? Impossible. They still didn't believe that the other party couldn't survive that kind of violent energy. Damn it, who are you? Acting all mysterious. The Silver Clan's genius roared in anger, his voice like thunder. Everyone looked in all directions. In front of him, a vortex appeared above the flames, and a figure walked out from the vortex. What? Is that kid? It's really Lin Xian. Lin Xian didn't die. Everyone was stunned. They didn't dare to believe it. How did he survive? That's right, the one who came out was Lin Xian. At this moment, Lin Xian's body was surrounded by divine flames. His face was incomparably cold and his eyes were filled with killing intent. He first looked at Murong Qingqing and Shen Jingqiu. When he saw the two women's pale faces and bloodied bodies, he was instantly enraged. The 9 suns' divine flames on his body turned into countless sword qi that shot into the sky. He took a step forward and arrived beside the two in an instant. With a wave of his hand, a pile of natural treasures appeared. Qingqing, are you injured? Brother Xian, I'm fine. Murong Qingqing heaved a sigh of relief. Shen Jingqiu was about to cry. Brother Lin Xian, that's great, you're not dead. They were too excited. Lin Xian waved his hand and the 9 suns' divine flames melted the natural treasures, turning them into 2 balls of pure energy that surged into the 2 women's bodies. At the same time he asked, who was it that injured you? It's that big bad guy. Shen Jingqiu pointed at the silver-white figure in the sky and said. Murong Qingqing, who was at the side, didn't say anything. However, she couldn't look at the female prodigy from the fire-Chilan cave. I understand. I'll avenge you. Lin Xian nodded and looked at the two of them. He didn't attack immediately. Instead, he glanced at the dark red divine dragon. When he saw that the dark red divine dragon wasn't injured, he heaved a sigh of relief. He looked at the martial artist from Immortal Palace again. When he saw that Peacock, Hu Yidao, and the others were also seriously injured and many of them were even killed, Lin Xian clenched his fists. He came in front of these people and took out countless natural treasures again. Palace Master. Peacock and the others were extremely excited. Many of them knelt down on one knee. Palace Master, we didn't protect you well enough. The Jade Lake Saintess and Zixia Saintess were injured. Palace Master, please punish us. Lin Xian shook his head. No, you did well. Now leave it to me. I'll avenge you. Who injured you? It's them. Peacock and the others raised their heads, their eyes burning with anger. They pointed at the Blood Moon Clan, Silver Clan, and Red Wing Clan. Lin Xian turned his head and stared at these primordial life forms. These primordial life forms trembled as fear appeared in their eyes. However, they still braced themselves and said, "Damn it, what do you want? Brat, you're not dead. You're really lucky. So what if you're not dead? We'll kill you with our own hands after you come." That's right. Do you think you're a match for us? They screamed crazily. Lin Xian's expression was cold. A fiery red sword appeared in his hand. Fire separation sword. Buzz. He took a step forward. His speed was so fast that no one could see him clearly. In the sky, countless sword chi flashed. Every sword slashed an ancient creature. With every sword, a corpse fell. Soon blood dyed the sky red. Hundreds and thousands of ancient creatures' corpses fell from the sky and smashed into the ground. Shocking, absolutely shocking. In almost an instant, the Blood Moon Clan, Silver Clan, and Red Wing Clan's ancient creatures were all killed. The corpses piled up like a mountain. Blood surged in the sky, turning it into azure hell. No. The other ancient creatures screamed crazily as if they had seen a ghost. They retreated frantically. The human warriors felt their scalps go numb. Many of them were about to faint. What kind of scene was this? Killing these ancient creatures was no different from killing ants. The Immortal Palace's warriors clenched their fists in excitement. Great, their palace master was still alive. Not only that, he even helped them take revenge. Damn it. How dare you? The Blood Moon Clan and Silver Clan's prodigies screamed crazily. The double-headed dragon and Fire Qilin Cave's female prodigy's pupils shrank. Especially the Fire Qilin Cave's female prodigy. Her eyes were red and her body was covered in flames. She was about to go crazy. The sword in the other party's hand was her treasure. How could he still be alive? Could it be that the other party had successfully sealed the Fire Spirit Pearl? At that thought, his expression turned cold. Chapter 2958. However, before she could make a move, the two sky prides from the Blood Moon Clan charged over. Bloody light filled the sky from their bodies. Their bodies completely transformed into two full moons, descending from the sky and shrouding Lin Xian. They wanted to crush him with their terrifying bloodline power. But Lin Xian did not dodge. Instead, he waved the blazing Qilin sword and shot out two rays of sword light that looked like peerless immortal light. He slashed forward. With a poochie sound, the two sword lights struck the blood-colored moons. With one strike, the two blood-colored moons split in half. Two screams were heard. Then, the corpses of the two Archean sky prides from the Blood Moon Clan fell from the sky. What? Dead. Everyone was stunned. They could not believe it. Lin Xian killed two Archean sky prides with a single slash. Oh my god, how is this possible? They were Archean sky prides. They were not like the Archean creatures from before. The two Archean sky prides from the Blood Moon Clan had at least 30,000 Archean power. They were so powerful that they could suppress an area. But now they were killed with a single slash. Their souls did not even have a chance to escape. How can this kid be so strong? Why do I feel that his strength has increased? Many people were terrified. Lin Xian turned his head and stared at the sky pride from the Silver Clan. His eyes were filled with cold killing intent. The sky pride from the Silver Clan trembled when he was stared at by Lin Xian. But very quickly he became furious. Damn brat, I want you dead. Although he was crazy, he was not stupid. He knew that his strength was on par with Bai Qianshan. If Lin Xian could kill Bai Qianshan, he could definitely kill him. Therefore, he secretly sent a voice transmission to the female sky pride from the Fire Qilin Cave. He asked her clone to cooperate with him. His clone had 38,000 units of Archean power, so the two of them combined could fight against an existence with 40,000 units of Archean power. It was definitely enough to kill Lin Xian. With a roar, the sky pride from the Silver Clan rushed out. At the same time, the clone of the sky pride from the Fire Qilin Cave also rushed over. The two of them attacked Lin Xian from the left and right. Oh no, they are teaming up. Many people were terrified. Murong Qingqing and the others were also nervous. The sky prides from the Silver Clan were not weak. Their clone was also terrifying. Their combined strength was absolutely terrifying. Let's see how this kid is going to die. Many Archean creatures sneered. Thunderclap. The prodigy of the Silver Clan waved his fist, which transformed into 8 stars. Each of them carried incomparable lightning as they descended from the sky. Everyone was terrified. This was an extremely terrifying lightning divine ability. At this moment, when the 8 lightning stars appeared, they could destroy everything. The avatar transformed into a flame qilin roaring non-stop. The flame qilin had a pair of fiery red wings on its back, and blood flowed through them. It Lin Skylin Lin Shui cut through the void space. Another peerless Lin Xian. Both Silver Clan Sky Prides go to hell for me. Terrifying lightning exploded and flames filled the air. The entire world was overturned. Lin Lin Pride's many people looked at the violent energy that filled the sky and sneered. But amidst the violent energy, 3 sword lights flew out. The first sword cut through the energy. The first sword cut through the Silver Clan Sky Pride. The second sword killed the clone. 3 swords. Just 3 swords. Lin Xian destroyed everything. Once again he walked out of the energy vortex, completely unscathed. Sizzle. The clone turned into a pool of blood that scattered in all directions. The corpse of the Silver Clan Sky Pride fell to the ground and stopped breathing. What? He's dead again. Everyone was terrified. That was the Sky Pride from the Silver Clan. He was as powerful as Bai Qianshan. However, he was still killed by a single sword strike. Impossible. How did this kid become so powerful? That's right. Previously, when I fought Bai Tianshan, I had to use all my means to kill him. But now, he can kill a powerhouse of the same realm with a single sword strike? What did this kid go through? The Archean creature screamed crazily. The female Sky Pride from the Fire Qilin cave was also shocked. Damn it. He actually killed my clone with a single sword strike. She couldn't believe it. However, even though it was just a clone, it still had 38,000 units of Archean power. A single clone was enough to wipe out all the human Sky Prides except for Yi Dao Denier. One could imagine how terrifying that clone was. But now, it was killed by Lin Xian with a single sword strike. What kind of shock was that? You dared to attack the people around me? You've touched my bottom line. Therefore you will die today. Lin Xian's cold voice echoed in all directions. He stared at the female Sky Pride from the Fire Qilin cave. I let you escape last time, but you still don't know what's good for you. You dare to attack my woman? You can die now. Damn kid, I was careless last time. This time I won't lose to you. The female Sky Pride was so angry that she went crazy. Lin Xian didn't say anything else. He turned to look at Yi Dao Denier. Brother Yi, thank you for helping me this time. I will remember this favor. Yi Dao Denier nodded. I'll leave this to you. With that, his figure flickered and he left. In the sky, Lin Xian strode forward. Remember, don't touch the people around me. Lin Xian's aura became more and more terrifying. The female Sky Pride sneered. Who do you think you are? How dare you speak to me like that? I'll show you my true strength. She roared and began to burn the power of her bloodline. The purple smoke brilliant furnace spun continuously above her head, transforming into countless purple sword chi. Not only that, but this time the female Sky Pride took out a demonic beast claw. It was a withered claw that looked like a corpse. The moment it appeared, a terrifying aura pressed down on the surroundings. Qilin claw. Damn it, she actually has such a thing. Many people's eyelids twitched and the ancient creatures were terrified. The female Sky Pride from the Fire Qilin cave sneered. Die, kid. She activated the Qilin claw, and at the same time, 10,000 purple sword chi surged out from above her head, attacking Lin Xian. The terrifying sword chi pierced through the void, and the terrifying Qilin claw continued to expand, covering the sky and earth. It was like the palm of a fiend god. This claw could crush the sun and moon and overturn heaven and earth. Under this claw, even those powerful invincible kings would be reduced to ashes. It's too powerful. Is this the prodigy of the ancient theocrats? As expected, no one could stop her. In the face of such a terrifying attack, Lin Xian didn't dodge at all. His aura erupted like a wave. The Fire Qilin sword in his hand suddenly expanded, as if it had come to life. It stabbed out, piercing through the sky. The sky was filled with flames and terrifying sword chi. It was like thunder soaring into the clouds. The sword illuminated the entire world, and the terrifying Qilin claw was pierced, forming a large hole. Chapter 2959. The sword chi tore through the purple sword light and arrived in front of the female prodigy. What? How is that possible? He broke the Qilin claw? I don't believe it. The female prodigy screamed. Her beautiful eyes were wide open, filled with shock and fear. The Qilin claw was formed from the claw of an extremely terrifying immemorial king from the Fire Qilin cave. It was extremely powerful, and it could even kill those powerful invincible immemorial kings. But now, it was destroyed by the other party. Although she knew that the power of the Fire Qilin sword played a part, the other party's strength had definitely become stronger. He was even more powerful than when she fought with him previously. And much more powerful. That's impossible. Damn it, could it be that this kid's strength has increased again? But how long has it been? From the time they were forced to leave Flame Tower to the time they attacked Dark Red Godly Forest, Murong Qingqing, and the others, only 3 days had passed. However, the other party's strength had increased tremendously in these 3 days. That was simply impossible. It was simply a myth. All of this happened in the blink of an eye. The female prodigy of the Fire Qilin cave temporarily suppressed the shock in her heart. The most important thing now was to dodge the sword. At this critical moment, the female prodigy could no longer care about anything else. With a roar, cold scales began to grow on her body. They were densely packed and covered her entire body. Her body also became bigger, like a small mountain, completely turning into a Qilin. After transforming into a Qilin, her strength increased again. Not only that, but her body also became incomparably strong. Those ice-cold scales were comparable to the toughest treasured weapons. Damn it, I don't believe that I can't block it. The female prodigy of the Qilin tribe screamed crazily. She wanted to use her body to block the sword. The sword pierced through. The female prodigy of the Fire Qilin cave widened her eyes. She looked at her body in disbelief. How could it be pierced through? Her incomparably tough Fire Qilin body had a bloody hole pierced through it. Moreover, her heart had been shattered. Not only that, there was a sword intent that could destroy everything in the wound. It began to spread throughout her body. Soon, countless cracks appeared on her body. Even her head was the same. Her soul wanted to escape from her body, but it was enveloped by a biting cold sword intent. Oh, damn it. This was impossible. I don't believe you? The female prodigy of the Fire Qilin cave screamed as if she had gone mad. She found it hard to accept. She was a genius of the royal clan. How powerful was 40,000 Archean power? With a stomp of her foot, those human saints and saintesses would be reduced to ashes. However, the man before him was able to easily kill him. What level had the other party's strength reached? Boom. She didn't have time to think anymore because the sword chi exploded out and cut the Fire Spirit Grotto Sky Pride's body into pieces. His soul was annihilated. Blood rained down from the sky, and not a single spot was left intact. The great Fire Qilin Paradise sect was killed by the other party in such a domineering manner. This scene was simply too shocking. This caused the bodies of the Archean elites to tremble, and many of them knelt on the ground. How did this kid become so strong? The dark red dragon was shocked. Murong Qingqing and the others also opened their mouths wide. On the other side, Leaf Dao Denier gasped. He had fought with the female prodigy of the Fire Qilin cave. Naturally, he knew how powerful she was. If he wanted to kill her, he would have to use some powerful trump cards. But now Lin Xian had killed her with a single sword strike. This method definitely surpassed his. It seemed that he had obtained some kind of opportunity in the Flame Pagoda. Leaf Dao Denier exclaimed in his heart. On the other side, the two-headed dragon screamed. Damn it, I don't believe it. How can you be so strong? He was going crazy. His strength was on par with the female prodigy of the Fire Qilin cave. He also had 40,000 Archean power. He usually flaunted his strength, but now he was truly afraid. Was that sword strike of his opponent an ordinary sword strike? Or had he used all of his strength and unleashed a world-shaking sword strike? He was more willing to believe the latter. However, he didn't plan to attack anymore. He wanted to leave quickly because he was scared out of his wits. You want to leave? Can you leave? The dark red dragon sneered and spat out flames and lightning to stop the other party. Damn it, how dare you stop me? The two-headed dragon was furious. So what if I stop you? The dark red dragon sent out another bolt of thunder, striking the other party's body, causing him to tumble in the sky and shatter countless voids. Lin Xian also walked up again. He held the Fire Qilin sword, and the aura on his body was extremely powerful. Next it's your turn. He stared at the two-headed dragon. Being stared at by Lin Xian, the two-headed dragon's body stiffened, and deep fear appeared in his eyes. No, damn brat, you can't attack me. I'm from the nest of 10,000 dragons. If you dare to attack me, the nest of 10,000 dragons won't let you off. We are dragons and we command the 10,000 races of the ancient era. If you touch me, you'll become an enemy of the entire ancient era. Become an enemy of the entire ancient era? So what? Lin Xian didn't care at all. Those who dared to threaten the people around him would only have one outcome, and that was death. He raised his hand and swung his sword. This sword strike was incomparably peerless. Damn it, block it for me. The two-headed dragon roared angrily and shot out lightning and fire that filled the sky. Damn brat, have a taste of my ultimate move, Apocalyptic Thunder. Lightning surged on his body, forming bolts of black lightning with a strong aura of destruction. It was as if they could destroy the entire world. Aha brat, go to hell. This apocalyptic thunder was condensed from his bloodline power. This was his full-strength attack and he didn't hold back at all. As far as he was concerned, this attack was more than enough to kill an expert with 40,000 levels of Archean power. No matter how strong the other party was, he wouldn't be able to withstand it. In the sky, sword energy flickered and collided with the apocalyptic thunder, emitting sizzling sounds. Those black thunderbolts were quickly annihilated by this sword. No, damn it, how was this possible? The two-headed dragon was dumbfounded, not daring to believe it at all. That was the apocalyptic thunder, and it carried an extremely strong aura of destruction. However, it was easily destroyed by the other party. How did the other party do it? Damn it, just how much ancient era power do you have? At this moment, the two-headed dragon's body trembled. He realized that he had made a fatal mistake. He had underestimated the other party too much. The other party's strength had far exceeded his imagination. Not good run. The dragon swung its tail, tore the void, and turned around to escape. Lin Xian looked at the other party's fleeing figure, and the corners of his mouth curled up into a cold smile. He raised the fire Qilin sword and stabbed out. A fire dragon spewed out, turning into a divine light that directly pierced through the other party's body. Oh, boom. A scream accompanied by a corpse resounded in the sky. The huge dragon's body was split in half. Chapter 2960. Ah, I'll stew you now. Dark Red roared with laughter and kept the huge dragon corpse. Lin Xian stood in the air and asked coldly, who else had attacked just now? He looked at the 10,000 ancient beasts. Those ancient beasts were trembling. Most of them were prostrating on the ground, while a small number of them were gritting their teeth. Damn it, the three royal families are here. You're dead meat. As soon as he finished speaking, his head split open. Lin Xian's voice was cold as sword chi burst forth. Is that so? Then, let's see if the royal family in your eyes can save you. Those who resisted were killed mercilessly by the sword chi. At this moment, Lin Xian was like the god of death. The remaining ancient beasts were completely subdued. Their bodies were trembling and many of them fainted. Even the elites of the human race were the same. Brother Yi, Brother Gu, and No Flower, thank you for your help this time. If you need my help in the future, don't hesitate to ask. Lin Xian was extremely grateful to the three of them. If not for them, Murong Qingqing and Xin Jingqiu would have been in even more danger. I believe the royal family should be in the next district. I'll open the passage to the third district now. Lin Xian turned to the flaming pagoda and formed hand seals. 9 suns split the heavens. The blazing Qilin sword surged and split the flaming pagoda in half. The purple sea of flames within the flaming pagoda spun continuously, forming a purple spatial gate. All he had to do was enter the spatial gate. Lin Xian turned and said to Yi Wudao and the others. Then he led Murong Qingqing, Xin Jingqiu, the Crimson Dragon, and the people from Immortal Hall forward quickly. After entering the purple spatial gate, they disappeared. Behind them, Yi Wudao and the others took a deep breath. Let's go too. Gu Santong, Wu Hua, and the others did the same. They led their own people and flew forward quickly. On the other side, Lin Xian and the others were teleported to the next area by a purple spatial gate. The flames here were even more monstrous. The architecture was even more spectacular. After coming out, the dark red divine dragon couldn't wait to ask, "Kid, how strong are you now?" That was way too powerful. He was truly stunned. One had to know that he had fought with the two-headed dragon for a long time. Although he could suppress it, it was still very troublesome to completely kill it. However, Lin Xian had arrived and killed the other party with a single slash. Even the Crimson Divine Dragon was shocked by such means. Lin Xian said in a low voice, "I've already reached 50,000 Archean powers." What? 50,000 Archean powers? As soon as he said this, the dark red dragon jumped up. Murong Qingqing, Xinjingqiu and the others also gasped. Peacock and the rest were even more shocked. 50,000 archean powers. No wonder. The two-headed dragon and the female prodigy of the Fire Qilin Cave both had 40,000 archean powers. As for Lin Xian, he had 50,000 archean powers. No wonder he could kill the other party so easily. With a difference of 1,000 archean powers, he could defeat the other party. With a difference of 3,000 archean powers, he could suppress the other party. Not to mention 10,000 archean powers. Kid, what have you been through? The dark red divine dragon asked. Lin Xian said, I've taken the fire spirit pearl and absorbed the energy within. It allowed the great dragon sword soul and 9 yang divine body to improve. That was why there was a huge change in my strength. Indeed, Lin Xian had absorbed the energy of the fire spirit pearl in that mysterious space, allowing the 9 yang divine body to enter the 4th level. His great dragon sword soul had also improved greatly. That was why there was such a huge change in his strength. 50,000 archean powers. Kit, you're going against the heavens. I don't think many people are your match. The dark red divine dragon was too excited. If this continued, they had a high chance of obtaining the heavenly fire. Lin Xian nodded, but he was puzzled. Was the fire spirit pearl the so-called heavenly fire? Did he not know, or was there an even more terrifying heavenly fire in the depths of Heavenly Fire City? He needed to find out all of this. On the other side, in front of the terrifying palace, the Fire Dragon King, the 9th Lord Feng Yinxue, the 7th Lord Huomuzhen, and the geniuses of the 3 royal families were all standing there. They looked ahead, extremely excited. Huomuzhen heaved a sigh of relief. They had broken through. Previously, the 3 royal families had finally reached an agreement after a tense confrontation. Once they entered, the Fire Qilin Cave would get 40% of the treasures, while the nest of 10,000 dragons and Divine Emperor Ridge would get 30% each. Both sides agreed, so Huomuzhen led the 3 royal families to break the array. After a difficult break, they finally tore a hole in the array in front of them. The hole was only 2 meters long and 1 meter wide. It was very small, but it was enough for everyone to enter. Let's go. Huomuzhen took a deep breath. The hole could only stay there for 30 minutes. After that, it would be restored again. After we enter, those people behind us probably won't be able to enter at all. There's no time to lose. Let's go quickly. As he spoke, Huomuzhen took the lead and led the geniuses of the Fire Qilin Cave forward. They turned into flames and disappeared into the array. Let's go too. The Fire Dragon King and Feng Yinxue also led their people and set off. After they left, a figure walked out. He was as tall as a fiend god. He looked at the broken array in front of him and did not say anything. His body and mind shook as he directly rushed in. If the martial artists of the human race were here, they would definitely scream. Because he was the South Arch Yen Nantian. After him, the #1 genius of the war race also came. He looked forward, sneered and quickly disappeared. After entering the mysterious palace, Huomuzhen led his people and moved forward quickly. Behind them, the people of the nest of 10,000 dragons and Divine Emperor Ridge followed closely. Seeing this scene, Huomuzhen's delicate and pretty face was expressionless, but his heart was somewhat gloomy. Damn it, the people of the nest of 10,000 dragons and Divine Phoenix Ridge were really haunting him. They knew more about Sky Flame City, so they naturally knew where the treasures were. If they kept bringing the people of the nest of 10,000 dragons and Divine Emperor Ridge, there would definitely be a great battle. This was not what Huomuzhen wanted to see. However, he could not shake them off because they were not weaker than him. Moreover, they were all members of the ancient royal family and had many trump cards. However, he was unwilling to lead these 2 groups to search for treasures. Although they were all members of the ancient royal family and looked like they should be working together, in reality the 10,000 ancient races had a lot of competition. Especially these royal families, they were even more serious and competitive with each other. One had to know that their princes and princesses would definitely have a battle in the future. Moreover, it was a battle of life and death. How could they coexist peacefully? Chapter 2961. Those 3 treasures were the Qilin's Eye, the Heavenly Fire, and the Void Divine Furnace. The Qilin's Eye is of the same origin as us, so only we can obtain it. It's impossible for the nest of 10,000 dragons and Divine Phoenix Ridge to obtain it. However, the Heavenly Fire and the Void Divine Furnace might not be the same. The Qilin Crown Prince asked us to bring the Void Divine Furnace back. 7th generation, what should we do? The genius of the Fire Qilin Cave asked. After Huomuzhen heard this, he sighed. He originally thought that things would be very simple, but now it seemed that it was much more difficult than he had imagined. Just breaking the formation outside and coming in has cost us too many of our trump cards. This was the outermost array formation. One could imagine how difficult it would be to obtain the Void Divine Furnace. I'm afraid that I only have a 10% chance of taking it out. However, I have a 70% chance of obtaining the Heavenly Fire. Huomuzhen said. Let's get the Heavenly Fire first and then see if we can obtain the Void Divine Furnace. If we really can't get it, we will return with the Heavenly Fire. I don't think the Crown Prince will blame us too much. All right. The people of the Fire Qilin Cave nodded. One of the young men revealed a cold smile. 7th generation, why don't we play a small trick and let the people of the Nest of 10,000 Dragons and Divine Phoenix Ridge fight for the Void Divine Furnace? When the time comes, let them kill each other or be killed by the array formation. Wouldn't that be wonderful? The people of the Fire Qilin Cave were thinking of a way to kill the Nest of 10,000 Dragons and Divine Emperor Ridge. On the other side, outside, Lin Xian and the others walked in. What a majestic palace. It was even more terrifying than what they had seen before. From the looks of it, it seemed to have been passed down from ancient times. Seeing this scene, Peacock and the others exclaimed. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. The array formation had been broken. It seemed that the people of the 3 ancient royal families had already entered. What are we waiting for? Let's go in directly. The dark red divine dragon couldn't wait any longer. He was an expert in array formations. He could tell at a glance that the cracks in the array formation wouldn't last long. He estimated that it would be completely healed in half an incense stick's time. Looking at the power of the array formation, it won't be easy for us to open it. Lin Xian nodded slightly. Golden light flickered in his eyes as he sensed the power within. Then he said, Peacock, don't go in. The flames inside are too strong. You can go outside and search for other opportunities. Yes. Peacock and the rest answered respectfully. That was indeed the case. Even as they stood outside, they felt a sense of trepidation. The energy inside was simply too terrifying. Even if they went in, they wouldn't be able to hold on for long before they were forced to retreat in defeat. Thus, it was better for them to search for opportunities outside. Alternatively, they could return to the top 3 regions to search for opportunities. Murong Qingqing and Shenjingqiu also gave instructions to the people from their respective holy lands. Most of the people from the Purple Sun Sacred Land and the Jade Lake Sacred Land stayed behind. However, there were a few people who wanted to give it a try. Lin Xian didn't care about any of this. The dangerous flames inside were not something that ordinary people could withstand. After giving instructions, Lin Xian led the dark red divine dragon, Murong Qingqing, and Shenjingqiu into the crack in the array formation. Behind them, the previous holy son of the Purple Sun Sacred Land gritted his teeth as a look of struggle appeared in his eyes. In the next moment he roared and charged in as well. Of course, there were 2 other figures following him. Most of the others stayed behind. They were prepared to go to other places to search for opportunities. Not long after, Yi Wudao, Gu Santong, No Flower, and the other holy lands and great sects of the human race arrived. When they arrived, they looked at the palace in front of them and sighed in amazement. The fiery aura made their souls tremble. At this moment, Peacock stood up and said to Yi Wudao and the others, Holy Sun Yi, our temple master has informed us that the array formation is cracked and won't last long. Moreover, it's extremely dangerous inside. We hope that Holy Sun Yi and the others can make a decision as soon as possible. Hearing this, the human race's side was stunned. Yi Wudao and the others' eyes also flickered. He said, Thank you for the information. He knew that this was a reminder from Lin Xian. Soon Yi Wudao and the others made a decision. You guys stay here. It's too dangerous inside. I'm afraid it'll be very dangerous for you guys. Yi Wudao decided to go alone. On the other side, Gu Santong, No Flower, and the others did the same. These top prodigies had decided to enter. As for the others, they were prepared to stay outside. One by one, the figures entered quickly. Finally, the crack slowly closed. The entire array formation once again emitted a terrifying aura. After Lin Xian and the others entered the array formation crack, they completely entered the mysterious palace. They were in a vast hall supported by 16 heavenly pillars. There were 9 passageways around them, each leading in different directions. Everything inside was grand and majestic. Everything carried a monstrous fiery aura. The fiery aura made the dark red dragon and the others have no choice but to treat it seriously. Why do I feel like this is a little like the palace of the fire god? Shenjingqiu whispered. Indeed, Lin Xian's expression was solemn as well. This place was too strange. On the fiery pillars, there were carvings of strange beasts. It was as if they were alive, giving them an extremely uncomfortable feeling. "Forget it, let's hurry up and go," Lin Xian said, waving his hand. He wanted to see what treasures were in this mysterious palace. One had to know that he had obtained the fire spirit pearl in the 3rd district. The treasures in the 4th district should be even more precious than the fire spirit pearl. Boom. Just as Murong Qingqing was about to ask which passageway to take, a low voice suddenly came from afar. Following that, flames rushed out from one of the passageways like a giant dragon. Someone was fighting. It should be those 3 from the immemorial theocrats. They were not sure if they were fighting because they could not split the loot evenly, or if they had encountered the array formation trap. The dark red dragon said quickly. Lin Xian's eyes flashed with golden light. He knew more about the fire spirit cave. Therefore, it was definitely not wrong to follow him. Lin Xian and the other 3 figures flashed and flew towards the 3rd passageway on the left. Not long after Lin Xian and the others left, Yi Wudao and the others also came in. When they looked at the huge palace and the 9 passageways, they all frowned. It seemed like they could only rely on their own luck. No Flower shrugged, then found a passageway and walked in. "See you later, everyone." Yi Wudao and Gu Santong nodded and each found a passageway. The Alcade Sage, Wuchen and the others also took a passageway. In the 3rd passageway on the left, Lin Xian and the others walked carefully. They did not want to be discovered by the people in front. Qingqing took out the feather. Murong Qingqing took out a flame feather and covered them. All of a sudden these people disappeared into the void. This feather was a treasure that they had obtained from the Crimson Winged Race's prodigy. It could hide them from the enemy. Chapter 2962. The group slowly set off. After walking for about half an hour, they arrived at the front. They found that the front was in a mess. Countless fragments were scattered, and there were still extremely terrifying auras left on them. From the looks of it, it must have been the 3 ancient theocrats who had taken action to break one of the mechanisms. Are these puppets? Lin Xian looked at an arm made of metal and was extremely surprised. His figure flashed, wanting to grab it and study it. However, at that moment, a cold voice came from afar. "Who is it? Get out here." "Oh no, we've been discovered." The dark red dragon was stunned. Murong Qingqing and Shen Jingqiu were also extremely nervous. Lin Xian frowned. He said, "I'll go out. The 3 of you continue to hide. Don't attack again and stay by my side." The dark red dragon and the others nodded. Lin Xian's expression was also extremely solemn. He did not expect the people from the immemorial royal families to be so powerful. He had just come out and they had already discovered him. Fortunately, Murong Qingqing and the others did not attack, so they could still hide at that moment. "Who's behind us? Get over here quickly or don't blame me for being merciless." In front of them, the cold voice came again with an extremely powerful flame aura. It seemed that they had been discovered by the people from Fire Qilin Cave. Lin Xian snorted coldly. His figure flashed and he rushed forward. He did not hide anymore. He turned into a beam of sword light and disappeared into the passage. Behind them, the dark red dragon and the other 2 kept a safe distance. They followed carefully. This time they did not release any aura. Other than Lin Xian, no one knew of their existence. Lin Xian's speed was very fast, so it did not take long for him to reach the front. In the next moment he was stunned. Because at that moment, there was a great hall in front of him. However, the great hall was too vast, as if it was on the other side of the universe. On the walls of the great hall, there were all kinds of relief carvings. They were like statues of gods and demons looking down on the world. There were many figures with powerful auras in front of him, but in the great hall they were like ants. They were almost ignored. However, Lin Xian still noticed it at a glance. They were from the 3 ancient imperial families. The 3 primeval theocrats naturally saw Lin Xian as well. The next moment they frowned. A human brat and Lin Xian no less. "Brat, I didn't expect it to be you. You actually came here on your own. Just nice, I'll kill you here." Many Archean prodigies sneered. Among them, the people of the nest of 10,000 dragons were incomparably ferocious. The Fire Dragon King stared at Lin Xian with a fiery gaze. He knew that Lin Xian had the incomparably mystical Great Dragon Sword soul in his body. He must find a way to get it. The people of the Divine Emperor Ridge were just as excited. Not only that, they looked around in disappointment, wanting to see if Murong Qingqing had arrived. But they didn't notice. The geniuses of the Fire Qilin Cave looked at Lin Xian and sneered. A mere human ant wants to compete with us for treasures? You really don't know what's good for you. Originally I wanted to let you go. But since you're here, then obediently die for me. These people were ferocious. They didn't put Lin Xian in their eyes at all. Of course, they didn't know about the scene that happened outside in the third area. Otherwise, these people wouldn't have such an attitude. At the back, in a corner, the dark red divine dragon Murong Qingqing and Shen Jingqiu were covered by mysterious feathers, blocking their auras. No one noticed. At this moment, they saw the arrogant expressions of the 10,000 ancient races. These guys were really courting death. The dark red divine dragon sneered. That's right. Shen Jingqiu was also fuming. Big brother Lin Xian was so powerful that he could definitely kill them instantly. Murong Qingqing said nervously. Let's be careful and not be exposed. In front, Lin Xian was threatened by so many people, but he wasn't afraid at all. He was very calm as he looked around and said indifferently. If you want my life, let's see if you have the ability. I'll kill you. A domineering voice appeared in the sky. It was like a god of war as a palm pressed down from the sky. Everywhere it passed, the void would shatter. The number one genius of the war race, Jianghu Shuang. Many archaic geniuses exclaimed. They didn't expect that the other party would come too. Lin Xian frowned. The other party actually dared to attack him. He was courting death. He snorted coldly and was about to attack. At this moment, the 7th generation lord shouted coldly. Stop. He waved his hand and directly shot out a flame that turned into boundless flames and blocked Jianghu Shuang's palm. What was going on? The surrounding people were puzzled. The people of the 10,000 Dragons dynasty and the Emperor Ridge were stunned. Even Lin Xian was stunned. Why would this guy be so kind? In the sky, Jianghu Shuang frowned as well. His cold voice sounded. Why, could it be that you want to protect this kid? I don't care about your grudge with him, but you can't fight here now. Wamuzhen said coldly. He looked at the sculptures around him. When you attacked, they were still emitting a peerless killing intent. Do you think Sky Flame City is so simple? This starry sky hall contains countless killing intent. If you act rashly here and activate the peerless array formation, all of us will die here. As soon as he said that, everyone's expression changed. They looked around at the god-fiend sculptures and trembled. Indeed, this starry sky hall was too terrifying. It gave them a feeling of endless desolation. Jianghu Shuang's eyes flickered after hearing that, but he didn't attack. Alright, I'll let him live first. I'll take his life after we leave this starry sky hall. Jianghu Shuang was very domineering. After that attack, he didn't attack again. Below, the geniuses of the 3 ancient royal families were whispering. This Jianghu Shuang was too arrogant. That's right, how dare he be so domineering in front of us? Many of the ancient theocrats were extremely displeased. After all, no matter how strong the war race was, they were only a royal family. On the other hand, they were royalty. However, some people frowned. This Jianghu Shuang was incredible. Judging from the way he attacked just now, he had at least 45,000 units of Archean power. Moreover, it probably wasn't his full strength. A casual attack had 45,000 units of Archean power? Many people sucked in a breath of cold air after hearing that. That was too terrifying. They estimated that the other party's full strength was around 48,000 units of Archean power. No wonder he dared to be so arrogant. One had to know that even the most powerful geniuses of the royal family only had around 40,000 units of Archean power. For example, the two-headed dragon and the female genius of the Fire Qilin Cave both had 40,000 units of Archean power. The Jianghu Shuang in front of them was clearly superior to some of the ancient royal family geniuses. Of course, compared to the Fire Dragon King, the 9th generation and the 7th generation, he was still a little inferior. Chapter 2963. That's right, this kid probably didn't even have 40,000 Archean power. That was for sure. After using all his trump cards, he probably only had 39,000 Archean power. After all, it was so difficult for him to kill Bai Qianshan previously. The people of the 3 archaic empires discussed animatedly. 39,000 Archean power was very strong, but in front of them, it couldn't cause any waves. Of course, this was only their guess about Lin Xian. They were only guessing based on Lin Xian's previous battle results. They didn't know what happened in the 3rd area previously. Otherwise, they definitely wouldn't think so. Let's go. In front, Huamuzhen led the people of the Fire Qilin Cave and quickly set off. The people of the Nest of 10,000 Dragons and the Divine Emperor Ridge followed closely. In the sky, Zhan Wushuang also followed silently. A wisp of his aura was locked onto Lin Xian. It seemed that he was afraid that Lin Xian would escape. Seeing this scene, Lin Xian snorted coldly. This Zhan Wushuang really didn't know what was good for him. If the other party dared to make a move against him, he wouldn't mind letting the other party experience the taste of despair. At the same time, he narrowed his eyes. That was because through the heavenly secret divine eyes, he discovered that there were actually a few figures hiding in the dark. It seemed that there were many experts who came in this time. Lin Xian sneered in his heart. His figure flickered and he quickly followed. He wondered what treasures were inside. Gradually Lin Xian frowned. This hall was too big. They had been flying for nearly an incense stick's worth of time, but they still hadn't flown out of the hall. The surroundings were very dark and even a little oppressive. Above and around them were those mysterious statues. They were cold. There was an indescribable aura. Suddenly, a low voice sounded as if a beast was howling, as if a demon had just awakened. As soon as this voice sounded, the people of the three archaic empires stopped in their tracks. They were bewildered. What happened? Did someone appear again? Many archaic paragons frowned. Huamujian's expression changed. Not good, be careful, I'm afraid that some array formation mechanism has been activated. Array formation? Those archaic creatures seemed to be facing a great enemy. The power in their bodies was circulating, ready to erupt at any time. They were indeed nervous. The universe starry sky great lightning hall was simply too strange. After flying for so long he still couldn't fly out. One could only imagine how terrifying the formations here were. Lin Xian also frowned. A golden light appeared in his eyes as he looked around. His heart pounded wildly because he discovered that the surrounding fiend god relief sculptures had actually changed. Quite a few of them had savage looks on their faces. They pressed their hands against the wall as if they were going to leap out at any moment. No way could these reliefs be alive? Lin Xian was shocked. The surrounding ancient theocrats also noticed this scene and cried out in surprise. Boom, boom. Finally, under everyone's horrified gazes, those fiend god relief sculptures rushed out. They stood in the void like fiend gods that had come into being. His cold eyes stared down at Lin Xian and the others. Damn it, this should be a puppet. The prodigies cried out in alarm. The archaic creatures in the nest of 10,000 dragons also had solemn expressions. Judging from their auras, I have a feeling that they have at least 40,000 units of Archean power. It was about time. It was indeed a terrifying array puppet. Many people's hearts sank. Lin Xian was also speechless. About 40,000 units of Archean power was about the same level as the two-headed dragon and the Fire Qilin Cave's prodigies. And this was just the relief sculpture puppets. Fortunately, he did not let Peacock and the others in. Otherwise, they would not be able to resist at all. Indeed, there were not many relief sculptures in the sky, but it made the three archaic theocrats feel as if they were facing a great enemy. Boom, boom, boom. A fiend god relief sculpture had a pair of fiendish wings and a single horn on its head. It held a stone spear in its hand. It walked towards the people from the Fire Qilin Cave. Those who did not know would think that it was a member of the 10,000 ancient races. Oh no, it's coming. The archaic creatures from the Fire Qilin Cave had solemn expressions. Huamujian sneered. He pointed with his finger. Whoosh, boom. A small flame flew out from his fingertip. It was so small that it was almost negligible. However, when they came into contact with the relief sculpture puppets, they exploded with a loud bang and turned into a sea of flames. Crack, crack, crack. The fiend god relief sculpture emitted rumbling sounds as countless cracks appeared. Then it shattered with a loud bang. Killed in one move. This scene made the people from the nest of 10,000 dragons and the divine phoenix ridge suck in a breath of cold air. They stared at Huamujian, their scalps going numb. As expected of the 7th generation lord. His methods were too terrifying. That's right, someone with 40,000 archaic power was easily killed by him in one move. What level had his strength reached? Needless to say, he definitely had 50,000 archaic power. However, they did not know how much he had reached. Tell me, between him and our Fire Dragon King, who do you think is stronger? These people discussed animatedly. As they spoke, the Fire Dragon King also made his move. Dragon shadows filled his body and accompanied his fist as he punched forward. In an instant, the two fiend god relief sculptures were killed. This scene was also extremely shocking. This Fire Dragon King was so strong. 8 Desolation Fire Dragon Fist. This was a great ability of the dragons, and he had cultivated it to such a level. The people from the Fire Qilin Cave also had solemn expressions. The people from the nest of 10,000 dragons were smug. It seemed that their fire dragon king was still stronger. On the other side, Feng Yinxue of the Divine Phoenix Ridge also made her move. She directly took out a jade flute and gently blew it. A mysterious sound wave rushed out. Crack, crack. Similarly, a fiend god relief sculpture that was charging over was torn into pieces. This fiend god relief sculpture seemed to contain a mysterious power. Feng Yinxue waved her palm, and flames flew out to collect the fragments. On the other side, the Fire Dragon King and Huomuzhen did the same. They also collected these fragments and brought them back to study them. Perhaps they could create such a fiend god puppet. This is great. The people from the three ancient royal families heaved a sigh of relief. With these three super geniuses taking action, they had no fear at all. Behind them, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes when he saw this scene. He had to admit that the Fire Dragon King and the other two were too strong, far surpassing the two-headed dragon from before. They were probably stronger than Zhan Wushuang. Interesting. Lin Xian was very interested in these people. He yearned to fight with these people. Of course, now was not the time. He had to hide his strength now and follow behind silently. When he found the real treasure, he would strike with thunder. Along the way, Huomuzhen, the Fire Dragon King, and Feng Yinxue led the way. The fiend god puppets they encountered were all destroyed by them. Chapter 2964. Lin Xian's expression was solemn. He had to admit that Skyfire City was too strange. One had to know that there were a total of 9 passages, and this was only one of them, yet there were such terrifying puppets. A single puppet was equivalent to 40,000 Archean powers. The entire hall was vast and boundless, and there were hundreds of thousands of god-fiend relief sculptures. If all of them were to be revived, the Fire Dragon King and the others would not be able to escape no matter how powerful they were. Fortunately, it seemed that most of the god-fiend relief sculptures did not react. Only a few god-fiend relief sculptures struggled to crawl out. That made everyone heave a sigh of relief. They really did not know who built Skyfire City. Was it a super saint? Or a terrifying great emperor? Behind them, the dark red divine dragon, Murong Qingqing, and the others were even more shocked. Especially Murong Qingqing and Shinjingqiu. Both of them were stunned. Were all puppets so powerful? The dark red divine dragon also gritted its teeth. Damn it, I really want to get the fragments of those puppets. Indeed, it was very tempting to him. He guessed that there was probably a mysterious array formation inside those puppets. If he could study it thoroughly, then his attainments in array formations would be greatly improved. However, he could not get it now. No, he had to think of a way to get that kid to get it for him. The dark red divine dragon muttered softly. Moreover, there were also exclamations because they realized that they were finally approaching the end. The front was not as empty as before, and a passage appeared again. It seemed that it should be a passage out of the vast hall. Lin Xian also heaved a sigh of relief. However, in the next moment his heart beat wildly. Why did he feel that danger was coming? He was shocked and activated the heavenly secret divine eye to look around. Soon he stared ahead. There were 2 statues in the passage ahead. They were very ferocious and terrifying. If these 2 statues suddenly appeared at any other time, it would definitely attract everyone's attention. But now, the people of the 3 ancient theocrats were already numb to it. The entire starry hall was densely packed with hundreds of thousands of god-fiend relief sculptures. Which one of them was not more ferocious and terrifying than these 2? Therefore they didn't care at all. However, Lin Xian was different. As he possessed the heavenly secret god eyes, he was naturally able to discover the difference between the 2 statues. He discovered that these 2 statues contained a terrifying power that far surpassed the previous puppets. Moreover, this power was becoming more and more berserk, and it seemed like it was about to explode. It was just that it was calm on the surface. Most likely, no one in the entire hall would notice it except for him. There must be danger. Lin Xian unconsciously slowed down his footsteps. He didn't want to remind these people, and he didn't want to bear the inexplicable danger. Just as well. Let the formation mechanism deal a heavy blow to the 3 immemorial dynasties. Let's see if these people will still be so arrogant then. At this moment, everyone's attention was on the passageway ahead. They wanted to leave as soon as possible, so no one paid any attention to Lin Xian. Even Zhan Wushuang, who was above, did not care. Although Lin Xian's speed had slowed down, he still hadn't escaped his range. Lin Xian's lips curled into a cold smile. Through the heavenly secret god eyes, he knew that the 2 god-fiend relief sculptures would soon attack. Indeed, in the next moment, the 2 god-fiend relief sculptures on both sides of the passageway suddenly launched an attack. The two god-fiend relief sculptures instantly came to life. The tails behind them turned into long spears that pierced through the void. Poof! The void split open as the two tails swept across. In an instant, some immemorial creatures were sent flying. There were even people who were split in half. Not good. Huamujian's expression changed because they were at the forefront of the Fire Qilin cave. At this moment they were the ones being attacked. Not only were the creatures behind him injured, but he was also enveloped by the black shadow. Get lost! Huamujian roared as he struck out with his palm. He was the 7th generation's grandson. His strength was extremely terrifying, far surpassing that of ordinary immemorial prodigies. At this moment, under his furious roar, terrifying energy erupted as runes flashed across the sky and blasted forward. Boom! Poof! Such terrifying energy could directly kill an ordinary immemorial prodigy, but it couldn't block the attack of the black shadow. With a puff, the runes were pierced and blood splattered out. This time, it directly pierced through Huamujian's shoulder. This scene stunned everyone. Even the people from the nest of 10,000 dragons and the divine phoenix ridge behind them were stunned. Huamujian was injured? That was the 7th generation's grandson. He was extremely powerful. His ancient power had reached 50,000 points, suppressing everyone else. Such a terrifying person was actually injured? Who was the one who did it? Was it the God-Fiend puppet? They didn't dare to imagine. Quickly defend. The Fire Dragon King and Feng Yinxue also shouted angrily. However, as soon as their voices sounded, someone beside them screamed. Among them, in the Fire Qilin cave, a dragon-like creature with black wings was instantly pierced through the head. On the Divine Emperor Ridge's side, a beautiful woman was split in half. Her eyes were wide open. That was because even at the moment of her death, she did not manage to clearly see what had attacked her. Seeing this scene, the front was in chaos. In the sky, Zhan Wushuang and a few figures in the darkness frowned. In the distance, the dark red divine dragon and the others' hearts were beating wildly. Damn it, it was too dangerous. Fortunately, someone took the lead. They felt a lingering fear. Lin Xian looked at this scene and narrowed his eyes, but he sneered in his heart. Because all of this was within his expectations. However, the only thing that surprised him was that the attacks of these two God-Fiend puppets were too terrifying. They could actually injure Huamujian. It had to be said that Sky Flame City was really full of fatal dangers. The Fire Qilin cave was at the front, so the attacks were the fiercest. In an instant, another two heavenly secrets of the Fire Qilin cave were killed. This scene made Huamujian instantly turn ferocious. He roared angrily, "Retreat!" At the same time he charged towards the black shadow. Buzz! Fiery red runes flickered on his body, and a red long saber appeared in his hand. He held it and slashed forward. Clang! The red long saber swept across the sky, and a terrifying killing intent and runes flickered as it tried to split the opponent in half. However, such a terrifying saber only made a clanging sound when it struck the God-Fiend puppet in front. It only made a crack and didn't split the opponent in half. So powerful? Huamujian's pupils constricted. It wasn't that he hadn't killed these God-Fiend puppets before. Although these puppets were powerful, they couldn't withstand a single blow from him. He could kill them with just a casual blow. However, the puppet in front of him was clearly different. The opponent was very strong and could injure him. Moreover, its defense was even more shocking. His powerful saber didn't pose a fatal threat to the opponent. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.